Hey everybody, I'm Shadowrock,
I'm TGP.
and welcome to episode 4 of Rise of the ShadowCast. Yes, we're doing a full one this time. Now, we got a huge topic up before us this time, so we're actually going to go through the channel news and the Mega Man news pretty quickly, but we do have some things to talk about. Not so much for the channel news, because when it comes to that, we're basically just going to record everything imaginable over today and tomorrow.
Yeah. The only thing I really would have to say myself is uh expect Star Force 2 sometime this week. That's all I can really say. Because I finally know what I'm doing. Finally.
Yeah, and in case you haven't heard, we announced a Mega Man Bound Number 2 and a Mega Man Star Force 3 Let's Play. It's coming soon, but first, we're going to finish up Bound Number 3 and Star Force 2 before we even think about doing that. But just know, it's coming. You don't have to keep asking us. It's coming.
They're going to keep asking us.
I know, right?
It's not going to stop.
It's never going to stop. And we also announced Mega Man X2, but that's going to be a Christmas special, probably. Unless we're like, screw it, let's do it.
Screw it, let's do it.
Screw it, let's just do it. That's it for channel news, really. So let's go ahead and get into the Mega Man news. The first one I have on my list is there's the Mega Man cartoon that just came out, or it kind of got leaked by a film reel from Film Roman, and it showed a bunch of like their animation stuff. But there was also a few seconds of some footage of the Mega Man cartoon. And I should say I learned this after the fact, after I made my video about it, is apparently one of the employees came out and they said that this is not representative of the final product. It wasn't even supposed to be seen. That's why it was unlisted to begin with. So they had to take it down. It's not there anymore if you look for it.
Welp.
Yeah, so take that as you will. Maybe what we saw isn't what's going to actually be in the final cartoon. We'll just have to see.
That face better be there.
That face.
That face, though.
Cartoon intensifies.
Like, as cheesy as it is, I kind of did like it a little bit.
Yeah, so I've been looking at a lot of people's reactions on the comments on my video. And man, that video blew up, by the way. So there's been, I would say most of it's negative, obviously. Oh, it sucks. The animation is crap. The faces look derpy. Like, I can understand that. It's not unwarranted. But, you know, there's also some other people that are kind of optimistic about it. It's like, oh, I'll give it a chance. Like, I don't, like, for me, myself, I'm still not 100% on it. Like, I'm just gonna wait and see. You know, it doesn't look the best. But
Yeah, I feel the same way too. I'm just gonna give it a chance. I'm not gonna start criticizing it now, even though I only saw like what at the very most 10, 15 seconds.
Not even that.
Yeah, like if even.
Maybe like 5 seconds.
I was just being nice, but yeah, like I'll give it a chance. It looks okay. I mean, to be honest, I don't expect the absolute best in terms of like animation and whatnot.
Yeah, the other thing you gotta keep in mind when it comes to this thing is they're literally targeting 6-year-olds when it comes to this cartoon. It's not for us. It's never going to be, no matter how much you want it to.
No, my Mega Man's.
Not my mature Mega Man.
No.
That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
But as a Mega Man fan, I'll still check it out. I'll see if I like it or not. I mean, the thing I hate the most about it is the fact that they seem to be changing up the whole lore behind it. Like, Mega Man goes to school now, and his name is now Aki Light, not Rock. So
yeah, the fact that they're like changing it up,
it's kind of insulting, honestly. But it is a children's cartoon. I guess they know what children like. And if it's Mega Man going to school, I guess that's how it's gotta be. But It's definitely not going to make current Mega Man fans happy. That's for sure.
Nobody, you'll never please everyone. There's always gonna be
No.
those people like, no, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you one thing for sure. When I first saw it, I was like, all right, that's a face. And we got to see Drill Man and Fireman, so
Mm-hmm.
I mean, assuming that's their names.
Assuming, yes.
But yeah,
It
it's
could
like,
it could
alright,
be
cool.
Torchman. Could be Torchman and wherever they would give Drill Man.
I don't know, but you know, I mean, I'm not gonna look forward to it either. I'd like if it just happens to come on the same day, or somebody tells me, "Hey, it's out," then I'll be okay. I'll find it. But if it passes by, and unless one of you guys tell me that it's on, I'm just not even gonna really care too much about it.
Probably, yeah. Like, I don't have cable as it is, so watching it is going to be very difficult. I'll have to find it online, basically. So if it does come out without me knowing, somebody definitely let me know.
I guess let me know too. I guess.
I guess. Yeah, that's like the main sticking point, though, going into this is like, this is going to be for the children. Like, maybe, hopefully, there's some enjoyment to be had anyways, but don't expect it to be the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, I'm not putting any high hopes in it. It's just there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right.
It just exists. Like, at least they're doing something on Mega Man for the 30th anniversary. I have to give them that. But that's it.
Yeah, I can give them that.
And I won't lie, if they make a video game based off of it, if it's a really fun video game, I'll take it.
Even if it's
There
decent.
was a rumor about that. Yeah, even if it's just a decent game, like, I'll take it. At least it's something, Mega Man.
Yeah, basically.
That's how a lot of people feel right now. Is like, we just want something Mega Man related that's new, not a port, not a remake. Just give us something new.
I already bought the classics enough, please.
Oh my gosh, I bought the classic games on the NES, the Wii U, and now the Legacy Collection, like 2 versions of it. Give me something new to buy.
And I was one of the lucky few to get the NES Classic. So
I forgot I bought it on the 3DS too. So
yeah.
Oh man.
And I think mobile too.
I didn't get the mobile games. I heard they're crap anyways.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
figures.
Yeah. I mean, how are you gonna play a 2D platforming game on a mobile anyways? Exactly. Well, that's enough of that. We got the next bit of news. Red Ash Magic Ikata, the anime, not the video game, the anime. Now it's called Red Ash Gear World, and I don't know the full details, but they did make a Kickstarter post. I didn't back it, obviously, so I don't know a whole lot about it. They made a post. They said they're aiming for 2017. I want to say it's spring 2017, but 2017 for sure. And it's going to be a film, essentially. That's pretty much it. It's got a name change. I don't know where the video game went. Like, they could still be working on it in secrecy, but...
I don't know.
But for sure the anime is coming, since that was the only thing that actually got kickstarted. They kind of have to.
Yeah, like, I didn't back it. I didn't back the game. I didn't back the anime. I just, like... I'm not. Even if it was a separate entity, it still didn't interest me enough to be like, yeah, I'll throw my money at it.
Yeah, well, I'll wait and see. Just like the Mega Man cartoon, I'm gonna wait and see on this one. Like, when it comes out, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I just hope this might be kind of unfair to say, but since they are going for the whole Mega Man Legends thing, I do want this anime or the eventual video game, supposedly, to kind of give me the same feeling that Mega Man Legends gave me, the feeling of adventure and a pretty good story that's surprisingly deep the further you dig in, pun intended. and I just hope it lives up to that. Of course, my number 9 is a thing. We kind of saw how that went, but
Oh.
speaking of my number 9, that's the next bit of news is now for us two that back my number 9, we got everything that we paid for. However, there's some people out there still that paid for physical goods for the My Number 9 Kickstarter and they still haven't gotten it yet. And it's basically been half a year since the game came out. Like, what's going on? So, people have been contacting Fangamer, the people that are supposed to be distributing it, and they finally got a reply about it. And what they basically said is that Concept hasn't given them the assets yet. So maybe that's like advertising materials or it's money. But either way, Concept isn't making this happen, essentially. Fangamer wants to do it, but Concept is like, no. So they're waiting on that, and that's really sad. I mean, the whole My Number 9 thing is already such an infamous case. Like, the whole world is already against you. How do you screw it up even more? This is what you do to screw it up even more.
I do want to say this too, like, because I am legitimately curious. If you put up enough money to get, like, the physical stuff, shoot us a message and let us know how you feel. And, like,
yeah,
the whole thing about it. Because I do want to know. I am legitimately curious. Because I only got the digital game. That's all I honestly cared about.
Yeah, me too.
But, like, if you donated for the physical things, or if you were bold enough to donate for the dinner, definitely shoot me a message.
Definitely, like, if you're one of the
on any platform, like anything, just shoot me a message and talk to me. And
if you were one of the lucky, I wouldn't say lucky, one of the crazy people to donate to have a dinner, Mr. Inafune, I want to hear all about that. Oh man!
And did you go to Taco Bell?
Did you go to Taco Bell? And did Inafune have the inspiration to make pizza explosions by having Taco Bell pizza? Like, Taco Bell, at least where I come from, Taco Bell also has Pizza Hut attached to it sometimes. Feels like maybe they went to a Taco Bell / Pizza Hut.
Yeah, I think there's one not near me, but relatively close by. But seriously, please message me. Us.
Please.
Both, any of us, please. I need to know.
Please. We must. This is for science and for research.
It is for science, though.
Alright, so moving on to more positive things, perhaps. The Gunvolt anime, Azure Striker Gunvolt anime, it's been delayed. Okay, maybe that's not so positive, but it's coming out this month. We're already on the 24th of January after recording this, and, well, I don't see it yet. So maybe they'll release on the very last day, or we'll get another delay announcement. But I guess it's coming. But Gunvolt 2, the DLC for the Sumeragi, where you can fight all of the bosses from the first game, and they apparently have some slightly remixed stages. It's paid, unfortunately. So people have been asking me how I feel about this DLC, and the word I can describe it is lazy. It's basically the same stages again. It's the same bosses from the first game. It's cool you can fight as Copen on it, but for paid DLC, it just seems kind of.
How much is it? Or
I would have to look it up, but somebody did the math and it's pretty expensive.
Oh dear.
That's why I remember. Because somebody was doing the math from, like, the Japanese prices. Because it's already out in Japan as we speak. but I do remember it being pretty pricey, especially for what you're getting. And I remember somebody also commented, I guess Inti Creates has that Capcom DLC DNA within them. I
Yeah.
guess so. Oh man, that's kind of sad though. But I'll be checking it out regardless for the channel. You can bet on that. It's just it's nice, but also kind of lazy, especially since you're paying for it. Like if it was free DLC, I would have no problem with it whatsoever. It would be pretty cool to have it for free.
Honestly, I wouldn't even mind paying for it if it was like a
Super
bundle
cheap.
and like
Yeah,
relatively
yeah.
cheap too. Like,
I think it's like 2 bosses per bundle or something like that.
and how much was?
Okay, there's 5 packs. They cost 300 yen each, which basically means they're $3 each. And you got 2 more packs that are $1.49 each. So, if you're gonna buy all the packs, it will cost around $18, which costs more than the initial price of a single Gunvolt game, which is $15. So, yeah.
The very most I would spend on like DLC like that would honestly be like $5.
I
Maybe
know, right? Like,
maybe 7.
that's what I mean, though. You're paying more than the initial price of the game for like bosses from the first game with some slightly remixed stages. Like, is that really enough for to warrant $18? I don't think so.
Just give me the game with both of them, then might as well, right?
I don't know. Just make a super edition for $30, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's a bit weird, you know. What's next? Costumes too?
That's probably what the $1.49 DLCs are. Maybe it's like costumes or items. So,
Oh, that's nice. Yeah,
yeah.
I'll have to really see if it's like worth it. That's a big F.
Yeah, I'll definitely be checking it out on stream. So, we'll find out if it's worth it together.
Yeah, it seems that way.
And while I was looking up, also was reminded that the Gunvolt 2 the Gunvolt 2 demo is out on Nintendo eShop right now if you want to check out the game before you buy it, and it is a really good game, I have to say. Yeah, I'll say what I will about the DLC, but the base game itself is actually really good.
It's honestly the best thing that came out of Mighty Number 9. That's not even a joke.
I know.
And it came so out of nowhere.
It did.
It's like, hey, here's Azure Striker Gunvolt while you wait for Mighty Number 9.
This?
And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa, this is a game.
Whoa, dude. This game is actually good. Well, that's it for the Mega Man news. We have gone overboard on this. But we're going to take a quick break now. No, wait. No, we aren't. Because there's something we got to address.
Oh.
So, in the last full podcast we did, episode 2, Lily gave us a question. She basically asked us, what would we expect from a remake of the Mega Man NT Warrior anime? And we answered it, because that's basically what she asked. But then she came back and was like, no. That was, you got the question wrong or something like that. So apparently what she was really mean to ask, and to be fair, this is kind of on her because she totally worded it completely wrong from what she meant. But what she really meant is, what would we expect from a Mega Man or anime that's based off the video game canon? So basically, no cross fusion, no dimensional areas, no like random navis that are not attached to their operators from the game. You know, just like Bound River 1 through 6 in anime form. What do you think?
I'd feel like as if I watched the Phoenix Red anime. Like,
right?
I would know everything that's gonna happen because I played the games, and I mean, there might be some slight differences. I can only assume they're going to be like some like things taken out or some things like kind of crunched in due to time per episode. Right. But yeah, you'll literally know. Like to me, it'll be a spectacle to watch, but I wouldn't be like, whoa.
Yeah, it's like, well, I already know this is happening.
Like, like, exactly. I bring up the Phoenix Wright anime again. Even though there were some slight differences, I knew exactly what was going to happen.
Right.
Like the only difference is like it was pretty cool to see some things that were like not animated or they were just like just in the game. To see that animated, it was pretty cool.
I love to see land punching Chad in anime form without it blackening out.
I want to see the PT being thrown in his face.
Yes. Like that would be great.
But yeah, it's like it'll be a spectacle. I think it'll be pretty cool. But otherwise, I'm like, well, you know exactly what's gonna happen, so don't expect very much surprises.
Right. But this is all theoretical. It's not happening.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just fun to talk about. But I pretty much agree with everything you said. Well, that's it. So now we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the big topic for this podcast. All of our thoughts on the new Nintendo Switch that's coming out in March. See you then. Welcome back, guys, and this time we're going to be talking about all of our thoughts on the new Nintendo Switch console, and it's a thing that exists. We've been meaning to discuss this for a really long time, but we kept pushing it back for various reasons, but it's honestly kind of a good thing we did, because there's a bunch of info that came out after the presentation on January 12th. Including yesterday, we got confirmation of a new launch game, so things are still coming out about this console, but we're going to be talking about everything that's come out up until this point. So, I have a bunch of notes here, and I think we're just going to go down through this list, and I wrote these as I saw them in the Nintendo presentation. So, essentially, we're all going to relive this Nintendo presentation together and just talk about what we thought of it as we go through it.
Yeah,
sound good?
I'm literally going. Besides the notes, I'm literally only going by memory. So yeah,
let's do it. Okay, so Switchmas is here, and the presentation turns on. There's some awesome music or like these flashy graphics, and can we talk about how they have like that click sound effect when they do the Switch logo?
Oh yeah,
like, click.
I can't do it.
So it's pretty good, honestly. Yeah, like I don't think we ever talked about the Switch reveal trailer itself back last year.
We might as well touch up on it a little bit then.
It was pretty on point. They successfully showed people what the Switch is about. You can take it on the go and play big, pretty games like Mario Kart 8 or Zelda on the go. They did a really good job on that. And I've seen like a lot of people were really into it, and the hype was there for this presentation. Of course, now, as with all things, people are a bit more negative about it, but we'll kind of get into why. But I do want to say, before we even begin all this, that I'm really excited for the Switch myself. I already have it pre-ordered. I can't wait to play Zelda. It's the most hypest thing in a long time for me, the new Zelda game.
I'm gonna say myself. I'm gonna say myself too. I might sound critical towards some things, maybe even nitpicky, but yeah. Overall, I still want the system. Like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna be waiting in the cold for it because Amazon has blessed us quite well.
Amazon, based
Amazon has indeed blessed us. But yeah, like I'm still pretty excited. Ooh. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. Pretty hyped for it. Some parts kind of bump me out a little bit, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yep. Okay, so yes, the presentation begins, and they don't waste any time.
No.
They don't waste any time because right out the bat, we get the release date and the price. It's coming out March 3rd, 2017, and whoa. Okay. We were expecting this thing to come out like maybe March 17th, like towards the end of March, but no, right at the beginning of March. There you go.
March 3rd.
So like right now, dude, we're literally a little over a month away from the Switch.
Yeah, something like that.
That's nuts.
So yeah, it was rumored, like, because there were like some leaks going out. There were rumors, and they were saying that 17th was going to be the day it was going to come out, but they said nope, it's coming out on the 3rd. Shut your mouth.
I know. And then it was also rumored that the Switch was going to be $250. That was like the pretty great price point. But no, shut your mouth. It's $300.
I won't lie. When I first heard $250, I was like, "That's a little too cheap, man. A little too cheap." Now, granted, I mean, I still wouldn't have minded, but at the same time, like, what makes this console like worth $250? But then they were like, "Oh, it's $300." I mean, to be honest, I honestly don't even mind paying $300. To be honest,
I think $300 is like the most they could do without completely turning people off.
Yeah.
Like people are already kind of turned off about the price, but we'll get into why later on.
Yeah.
But I think $300 is like a good compromise because Nintendo did say they don't want to sell this console at a loss like they did the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
So the Wii U went for $300 for the basic package and $350 for the deluxe package at launch. So, and this is only one SKU for this system, so you don't have to worry about a deluxe version or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's fine. It's fine. And then, the next announcement they had to say was there is no region locking, which means you can import games from Japan or Europe or anywhere, and you can just play them on your console without having to do any modifications or anything.
Now that's pretty cool.
Thank goodness for that. Yeah, that's really cool.
It's like, it kind of sucked that it was region locked. There were some things that we couldn't play, but you know, now it doesn't feel that way, so that's pretty cool. In case there are some exclusives down the line, hey, you can just buy it if you really want it.
Yeah, like, I know there was people that had to buy a Japanese Wii U to play Japanese games, but you don't have to do that anymore. You can just use your one console to play any region's games now. And they also announced after the presentation that you can have up to 8 accounts on your Switch, and your, like, the region the eShop is will be based on your account. What that means is, what you can do is you can make an American account, you can make a European account, and you can make a Japanese account, and just use those eShops on those different accounts to download the games you want, and there you go. You can buy wherever you want from any region. So that's really simple.
Good.
Of course, the hardest thing would probably be like obtaining like a Japanese eShop card or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, getting an accepted form of payment. But, you know, that's just a small thing. The matter is, like, you can get Japanese games now. So, like, in this scenario, they release something like Xenoblade in the Japanese market first. You can always download that and check it out for yourself if you really want to. Of course, I'll probably wait for the translated version anyway, but that's definitely an option. So, you know, really cool. Next one, they talked about how the Nintendo Switch is going to be inheriting all of the DNA of the past Nintendo systems. Like the NES came with 2 controllers, And that translates to the Switch because with the Joy-Cons, you can detach them and you can hand one to another person next to you, and you basically got 2 controllers for multiplayer right out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
The Super Nintendo had the extra buttons. The N64 had the first analog stick. And then, funnily enough, the thing they pointed out about the GameCube was that it has a handle.
I know, that was I know the GameCube wasn't like the biggest of successes, but like I'm pretty sure there were better things than, yo, check out this nice handle.
Check out this nice handle. I actually remember what he said. He was like, we tried the whole portability idea by giving the GameCube a handle, but we were too early for that.
Yeah, they're like, I mean, people do that anyways, to be honest, so you did something right. But
yeah, I remember way back when the GameCube was the newest console, people were like, this handle's pretty cool. And then the GameCube was also the most durable system. I watched this show on G4 TV when it was still a thing, where they like dropped a PS2, an Xbox, and a GameCube from like several feet, and like the GameCube was the only system that remained working. So
nice.
Yeah, like for the most part, Nintendo makes some pretty durable consoles. At least back in the day.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And then they talked about how Wii has motion controls. We'll get into that in a sec, because that does matter. And the Wii U has the Scream on the tablet, so yeah. It pretty much has everything that Nintendo's had before. You're not really missing out on anything. So that's kind of nice, to be honest. Like, a lot of people were saying, like, Nintendo's gonna go away from, like, the Wii U, the Wii ideas. But no. Of course, there's gonna be people that'll be like, oh man, motion controls? Oh, Nintendo. Well, that's just on you, I guess. Like
I will say motion controls are kind of bleh at this point, but at the same time, at least Nintendo did motion controls somewhat right in comparison to others.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give them that. But
if anything, I like having the option and just like the possibility for developers to do different things with their games.
Exactly, like as long as they don't make it like very mandatory, then to me it's fine.
And from the looks of it, it's not going to be mandatory. Like, developers are going to be free to do wherever they want with their games. So that's really good.
That's good.
And then they just went into more things about what the system does. And you got the TV mode. You can dock the Switch on there, and then you can just play on the TV like like you would normally do with any game console. They have tabletop mode, and the Switch has a kickstand on the back. You can plop it on the table wherever you are, and just get out the Joy-Cons and just play right there. It's actually a really neat concept. It's like a gee whiz moment.
Yeah. Before we stray off too far, I also want to mention too that they made a huge deal about the Rumble Pack, and it's like the Rumble Pack of the gods. Because they can like,
oh yeah,
it can like
the N64 had a Rumble Pack.
Like they made super emphasis like, yo, our Rumble Pack is like the best Rumble Pack, and they were like doing the Ice Cube thing or some other thing here and there.
Well, we're gonna get into that in a sec, actually. But
okay.
Yeah, they did mention that the Nintendo 64 had the first Rumble Pack.
Yeah,
they did. So that's another thing that's gonna be in the Switch, as we will get into after this. But yeah, we got tabletop mode, handheld mode, and you could basically play it like a PSP or a PS Vita. It's kind of what it looks like a gigantic PS Vita when you have it in that mode. And what you do for handheld mode is you take the 2 Joy-Cons and you attach it on either side of the console.
Mm-hmm.
And like the console is just like a little tablet screen. It's actually kind of nuts that they put all this technology into that little tablet and these little controllers that we'll get into. And yeah, you just play it kind of like a handheld system. So it's really cool that you can do all this different stuff, these different styles of play of the console. So it's kind of for anybody, really. If you need to go on the go, you got that. If you want to just play at home, you can do that too.
Right.
But then we get into the Joy-Con controllers, and man, these things have a lot of technology stuff into them.
That
you can share them, like we said before, we could share them with a friend for 2-player play. Oh, we wish I talk about the battery life. They're saying that the battery life is going to be anywhere from 2.5 hours to 6 hours, depending on what you're running on it, what kind of game you're playing. To give you a little bit of a ballpark, they said that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild can be played for about 3 hours on a full charge. So, like, the battery life isn't the best, as some people have pointed out, but as other people pointed out, this battery life is actually better than the original 3DS when you put it into perspective. And that's kind of impressive, to be honest. This big old tablet thing that plays all these console quality games can last for 3 hours playing Zelda.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. It was
impressive.
Yeah, like even though 3 hours does not seem very much,
kind
of sucks. But at the same time, it's like, you know, for the amount of stuff that it's doing, that's pretty good.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't think I'll ever be like too happy about it, but at the same time, majority of the time, I'm gonna be home anyways, so you know, it doesn't bother me too much.
Right. It really depends on what you're using this console for.
Yeah.
And, you know, they'll probably have higher capacity batteries that you could buy separately if it's really a big deal to you. But either way, it's basically going to be like having the 3DS, the original one, at the very least. Because I remember I'll be running low on battery on that thing after a few hours of play at the very most.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically going to be the same thing. Nothing new for me personally.
That's
but
pretty much how I feel about it.
But you can charge this console if you're at maybe like a plane or like a place that you're sitting down for a while that has a power outlet. And to charge this console, you have USB Type-C. And I'm not entirely sure what that looks like, but apparently there are phones out there that use USB Type-C. So if you happen to have a phone that charges with that type, then I guess you're pretty much set. You know, it's common enough. It's not like some super specific Nintendo connection like they have with their previous consoles. It's actually kind of common to buy. Well, so that's good.
That is good, actually.
And then, as for the touchscreen, people haven't really been able to test drive this yet and their hands on because at the events, Nintendo apparently disabled the touchscreen. But it does have a multi-touch screen that's capacitive, and apparently we've heard that the Nintendo Switch's screen is going to have haptic feedback using Immersion's TouchSense tech. So I think it's like a little bit of a rumble whenever you touch it. I think maybe like a smartphone. I'm not sure if smartphones do that. Maybe. I'm not an expert on smartphones.
Maybe to an extent, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest.
Something like that. And then we have Wi-Fi is a thing, of course. And this is actually kind of neat. You can have 8 Switch consoles connected to each other, like in real life, for local wireless play. So you can have a local Splatoon tournament, for example, like really easily. I think that's a really cool thing.
I see this more being done if like places do tournaments, or like if you go to a con with friends and they happen to have a Switch, you can do it. But for me personally, at the very least, we can do 2 because I'm getting the console myself and my dad is like also getting it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. It's pretty cool. Like you don't have to bring like LAN cables or anything like that, so that's nice and nifty.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it reminds me of when GameCube was out, and I tried once the it was Mario Kart Double Dash. That's like the one that really kind of brought it out, where you can like bring Game Cubes, TVs, and like have your own little local thing going on right there. And the fact that it's wireless like 3DS's, that's pretty dope. It won't be seen too often, but hey, the fact that it's there is pretty dope. I like that.
I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be like in the trailer where you're gonna go to an airport and see a hot girl playing a Switch 2, and then like you're randomly playing your house, and then people are across from your window saying, "Hey, come to our random rooftop party."
Oh yeah,
that's not really true. Gonna happen.
It's like, whoa, man! We don't want to have a Switch rooftop party, bro. Let's go,
bro. Let's go.
Oh gosh,
you're not gonna see it often, like you said, but it's nice that the option is there. So the Joy-Con L and R, and this is when we get into the specs of them, and they put a lot of stuff into this. So both of the Joy-Cons are each going to have a clickable stick and face buttons. And the reason why they both have face buttons, because usually when you have these two together as a controller, usually the left Joy-Con should have a D-pad. They couldn't do that way though, because these are literally designed to be handed to another person for multiplayer play. And it'd be kind of weird using the D-pad as face buttons. So they had to make it kind of like a makeshift D-pad and face button combo, which kind of sucks for 2D platforming games if you're using the Joy-Cons for them. But I guess you can buy a Pro Controller to remedy that. Unfortunately, it's kind of expensive, but we'll talk more about that later. But that's kind of a downside to the Joy-Con, but it is nice that they thought through, like, if you want to play this another person, you can totally do that. The Joy-Con R has the home button and NFC for amiibo functionality, so amiibos are still a thing.
Yep.
Definitely.
I mean, of course, the Breath of the Wild amiibos are going to be there for sure.
Oh yeah, like right there at launch. I'm assuming they're not sold out, because they currently are, as far as I see. Pretty much everything Zelda Breath of the Wild, except for the game itself, it's sold out, unfortunately.
Right.
The Joy-Con L has a capture button. This is new, because for a while now we've been used to like the PS4 having a share button, where you can share screenshots and video with people. Nintendo's getting in on this too, and right now it can do screenshots, and in a future update after launch, they're going to add video functionality as well. Not sure why video's coming later, but I guess they need to work on it some, or I don't really know how this works. But you can share these things with your friends over social media. And they also confirmed that Miiverse is gone. Like, this Miiverse is not going to be on the Switch. And neither is Street Pass. So if you like those things, I'm sorry.
Well.
So basically, you're going to be sharing your screenshots and video on like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, those kind of things.
That means you better make yourself a Facebook or something like that.
Yeah. Well, the Joy-Cons will have motion controls as well. So this is where the part where you're like, okay, so Joy-Cons are basically Wii Remote 2.0.
Yeah, basically. Except really tiny.
Really, like, somebody said that the Joy-Cons are like 60% of the size of a Wii Remote. So they're pretty tiny.
Yeah, like, I'll mention it a bit more in detail later on, but for those who have big hands like myself, don't feel too bad yet. There is a saving grace to the size.
I did hear, especially coming from like somebody that has big hands, I did hear that the Joy-Cons are still comfortable enough. So surprisingly, they still feel pretty good, even with big hands. Of course, I haven't touched the thing yet. I don't know myself to tell you. I'm just going off of what others have said.
Yeah, same here.
Mm-hmm. Another cool thing about the Joy-Cons is when you take them off of the console itself, you can put them horizontally, and then there's these extra shorter buttons, like in between the rail, and they're called the SL and the SR buttons. And like, I think Rondrix was the one that said, "Hey SR, you're a button now." Okay.
That just happened.
Yeah, so they function just like a regular L and R button. They're literally just there, so you can use the Joy-Con as a full functioning controller for multiplayer play. So it's really cool that they thought all this through to make these multiplayer thing happen. And then you got the Joy-Con color variations, and I'm a big fan of this. The first ones are the neon blue and neon red, and they look kind of nice. It kind of makes the console look kind of like a toy compared to like the gray version. But I'm really glad they have color variations. Now I just need a purple one so I can have like a Shadowrock themed Switch.
Yeah, I don't know
Oh man,
what
so
they'll come
cool.
up with in the future. To be honest with me, I was perfectly fine with either or. Like the
Mhm.
colored ones were gone, so
Yeah.
don't even try unless you get a launch day. But yeah,
Well, it should be said that the Switch in general is gone
yeah,
right
it
now.
is kind of gone. But yeah, to me, honestly, the gray is fine in my opinion.
Yeah, I had the gray pre-ordered. Unfortunately, I didn't see the neon one on Amazon until it was too late,
Yep.
apparently. So, I'm just really glad they're going to be selling color variations. I just hope they have more than just red and blue.
It probably will in
And
due time.
since they're making variations, I think they also hinted at that they might do like a different kind of Joy-Cons too. So like maybe you'll have a Joy-Con L with a D-pad. And you know what'd be really cool is that there's some fan ideas out there with like GameCube versions of Joy-Cons that you can attach to your Switch to like play GameCube games or maybe Smash, and that would be really cool if they actually went through that.
Yeah,
Oh man, the possibilities of the system, dude. The possibilities.
I know.
Uh,
You need to wow
but
us.
man, I hope they do. You can also have these wrist straps for the Joy Cons, and they actually come with two of them in the system itself, so you'll have them.
Yeah, this is what
And
makes this is what makes it more comfortable for people with big hands.
yep,
At least that's what the guy was saying, from what I heard. So he
yeah,
didn't have
it
a
definitely
he
helps.
didn't have a problem like holding it, and apparently they're very light, like super
Hmm.
super light. So I think the strap itself is like a saving grace to your television in case you accidentally throw it or something like that.
Right?
Even though it's like, because honestly, with it being that light, I can probably see myself prone to like throwing it if we get into something intense.
Hmm.
So that's always nice.
But yeah, the wrist straps have a little rubber attachment to it, and that's how you slide onto the Joy-Con. And that's what he was saying is better for your hands because that makes the Joy-Con a little bit bigger, and then they have these little indentions on it where you can press the SL and SR buttons, and it makes it easier to press. So it really is just like another controller, just a bit smaller. So it's really nice again that they're making all this like as comfortable and as like logical as possible. IR sensors, the Joy-Con also has that, and it's a bit more advanced than the Wii remote because it can tell the difference between rock paper scissors, like different hand motions. It can tell the difference. It can track distance of your body, like if you're moving your hand far and close and far from it. Like it can tell exactly how far it is from the Joy-Con itself. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to use this thing to use like touch based games when you're playing on TV mode. It's probably like the main reason it exists. But yeah, this is like the upgrade of the Wii remote that the Wii U probably should have had, but it didn't for whatever reason.
Yep.
And then this is also kind of a really big thing that I really like about the Joy-Cons. They have this HD rumble, and you guys, if you're a gamer, you know what rumble is. Your controller vibrates whenever something happens in a game. But this HD rumble is going to provide a new sense of realism. And the example they used in the presentation is the guy was holding the Joy-Con and he was like shaking it, and he could feel that it was a glass. And then ice cubes would drop into the glass, and he could actually count how many ice cubes was in it because the HD rumble was vibrating just enough to kind of feel the ice cubes dropping into the glass. And man, if it works just as they describe it, oh man, that's crazy.
It's going to be the rumble pack of the gods if it's true. If it is indeed true. Because that's like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think much detail is needed for a rumble pack, but if you can pull it off, hey man,
yeah,
kudos to you.
So I've heard two sides to this from people who have had hands-on on the Switch. Some people say it's like, well, I don't really care for it. Like, I didn't really notice anything. And other people are like, oh man, I could totally notice the difference. It's way better than regular Rumble. So I guess your mileage may vary depending on like how much you really care about Rumble as a gamer. So we'll see. I guess we'll see when we get our hands on it. And I think Legend of Zelda does have HD Rumble support, so that's going to be interesting to try out. Because we're definitely buying Zelda.
Yeah, to be honest, it's probably going to be the only one I'm going to buy.
For now, yeah. Okay, and then we get into our product configurations. I think they announced this towards the end of the presentation, but I put it up here anyways in the notes. So what you're going to get with this system is you have the console, you have the two Joy-Cons, L and R. You also get two wrist straps for them. You get a Joy-Con grip, and I don't think we had talked about this, but the grip is an accessory where it has handles like a regular controller. And you put the Joy-Cons in there so you can use it just like a regular controller. So that's pretty nice. And then you also get the dock. You get an HDMI cable and an AC adapter. So very basic stuff. Just the essentials to get you started off with. And then there's two versions of this. They all do the same thing. They have the same amount of memory. But you get a gray version or the neon blue L and a neon red R version. So you get either a colored version or a gray version, depending on what you want. We both have the gray pre-ordered. So the console also has 32 gigabytes of built-in storage, which is it's basically the same as the Wii U Deluxe version.
Honestly, it all depends on like the games, like how big they can get. Because 32 seemed small for the Wii U, but as long as you went physical, it really wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's all comes down to whether or not some of these games are going to be gigantic, like in the PlayStation 4 and whatnot. So, I mean, overall, I still think it's a little too small, but you know.
To be fair, and you actually said this to me the first time I mentioned it, but to be fair, Nintendo games typically aren't that big to begin with. They're actually really, really good at keeping their file sizes really small, which is kind of amazing.
I think in the Wii U, the biggest game is like Xenoblade Chronicles, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and I forgot how big it was, but even
it certainly wasn't any more than 32.
Yeah, like it was still manageable. But again, this is going by if you got the game like physically where it doesn't use much space, or if you downloaded it, that's a different story.
Right. It's mainly going to matter if you're that person that buys things digitally all the time. But there is a saving grace for you because you can get up to a 2 terabyte micro SD card to expand your memory, and that's a lot. That's plenty. It's kind of crazy because you can't actually buy a 2 terabyte micro SD yet, I believe. So Nintendo really thought ahead on how the system would do in the future.
That's gonna be so expensive. Oh my lord!
I know, right? But the option is definitely there. And I believe they also said that when you have the system docked in TV mode, you can attach an external hard drive to it. Of course, when you take it on the go, you're not going to lug in a freaking external hard drive with you. That's not realistic.
No, not really.
So you definitely want that SD card. You got the SD card. Oh yeah, the SD card's location is kind of interesting. Basically, you open up the kickstand and the SD card slot is right there. So it's very easily accessible. Unlike the new 3DS where you gotta take off the backplate just to put in a new SD card.
With a screw, mind you. So you need
with a screw, yeah. You gotta have a specific screw size as well. Like, really. Could be plus.
So at least we don't need any tools lying around.
And then we get to the accessories themselves. So this is a thing I'm kind of just really down on with the system.
Yeah, this is definitely like one of the things I'm down on too.
The accessories are so expensive.
Like,
so let's look at the list here. We have the Pro Controller, which is what you want to play 2D games or like any game like really efficiently. That's $70, which is like $10 more than a PS4 and Xbox One controller at retail value.
Mm-hmm. So
now, to be fair to this, the Pro Controller has gyro controls, so you could play Splatoon like you would on the Wii U with a Pro Controller. So that's a bit of extra technology there. It also has HD Rumble as well. So, like, there is extra stuff in here, extra bells and whistles compared to the PS4 and Xbox One controller. So maybe that's where they're getting to that price. But for a general like consumer, yeah, it's too expensive.
That's a steep investment. And that's just a controller.
That's just one controller. And then we have the Joy-Cons. One Joy-Con is $50. Whoa. And then you have a set of 2 Joy-Cons is $80, so you save a little bit more by getting just a set of 2.
It's still pricey though. My goodness.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Wii remotes are like $50 too.
I think so.
So it's actually kind of makes sense because the Joy-Cons are essentially Wii remotes in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's for $80 for a set of them. It's kind of outrageous, but it does make sense because essentially you're getting like 2 Wii remotes for $80 as a bundle. So when you put it in that perspective, it makes more sense.
That's the thing though, so you gotta make sure you don't lose this.
Then we have the Joy-Con charging grip, which is $30, and I have to say this is different from the grip that comes with the console. Because the grip doesn't charge things, but this $30 grip, when you put the Joy-Cons in there, it'll start to charge them. But to be honest, you don't need this grip really, because the Joy-Cons are going to last a while anyways. Like, I believe it's like at least 20 hours worth of charge on them.
Ooh, that's definitely more than enough.
More than enough. So, like, I'm pretty sure people are going to put their Joy-Cons back on the system to charge anyway when they're done playing. So as long as you aren't having like a 24-hour marathon of playing, I'm pretty sure you're fine.
Yeah.
And then we have the Switch dock set. And but there's another one people say is way too expensive. It's $90. So this is one of those things where I don't know exactly where they're getting to this price from, because the Switch dock set comes with the dock itself, and it has the HDMI cable and an AC adapter, I believe. The reason why you would want this is like if you wanted to have another room where you can easily dock your Switch into. It's basically if you're a lazy bum that you
Oh,
would want this.
wow. Because I was kind of confused as to what it was. I was like, what is this? But wow. Okay, I understand now. That's a little silly, if you ask me.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be doing that. Like if I wanted to move my dock into another room, I would just pick up the cables and move it in there. This is literally if you're like the laziest of bums. You just want to have two docks in different parts of your house to easily dock your Switch into.
Yeah, I don't see this being prominently sold, at least to like a normal consumer.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna stretch a bit. Okay.
But as for the price itself, again, I don't really know where they're getting to this from, but I could guess that the dock does indeed have some components into it that helps switch output at 1080p. Because I didn't mention this before, but when you're playing on the TV, it goes up to 1080p resolution, and when you take it out of the dock, the switch goes into like a little bit of a low power mode to where it's 720p max. But that's honestly fine because the switch is like the switch screen itself is 720p when you're in mobile mode. So you really don't need anything more than that to make it look pretty.
That's nice.
So yeah. So I guess the dock does sound like different extra components in there to help the Switch run better in TV mode. It would almost have to, I guess, for that price point. But I think the reason why people are complaining about it is because they assume the dock is just like a plastic case essentially that allows you to plug things into it. But if it's $90, I have to think that's not really the case.
Like, there has to be something to it.
Something they're not talking about. And then the last accessory is the Joy-Con wheel. And nicely, this is actually the most, I guess, the most like budget one you can get because you can get two of them for $15. That's not too bad if you're getting two of them. But basically, these wheels, you guys probably remember the Wii wheel whenever Mario Kart Wii came out. You put your Wii remote in there, and then you can use your motion controls to play Mario Kart with. This is the same thing, but it's for the Joy-Con.
Yeah,
So
essentially.
you could still use your tilt controls in Mario Kart. I'm using tilt controls.
Nice. Yeah, that's probably something I really don't care too much about, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I wouldn't be like rushing out to buy a Joy-Con wheel. It's just there if you really want it. But we actually get into some other things about the Switch. We're gonna get into online services now. Okay, so the smart device, they have a smart device app, and it allows you to manage your friends, chat online, set play appointments, and assess parental controls. They have like a cute little video of Bowser and Baby Bowser that shows the parental controls.
he's like the
It's
dad of
actually
the of existence because
he's like
my
he's like
goodness.
the greatest dad.
Like he's like the best dad ever.
All right. But yeah, you do all of this from your smart device, and this is kind of controversial for some people because people are like, "Well, does this mean that you can't do the voice chat from your console? You got to do it from your smart device, and that's it."
Like in that
So
case, I might as well just go on my
may as
laptop
well
and
get on.
Skype or something. Or
Yeah, that's
Discord.
definitely exactly like you could just do Discord or Skype in that case, but uh, there's just something again that we don't know too much about it. We don't know how it really works. Like it does mention that you can manage your friends, so I guess this way you can at least chat with people that are on your Switch friend list. So that way you don't have to like tell them, "Oh, get a Skype, get Discord." You just chat with them right there. So in that way, it's actually kind of convenient. Um, yeah,
This
I was gonna say
is
something, but I forgot.
this is the online services. This is where it gets like again. Uh,
Yeah, so let's just move on. The online is only going to be free for a limited time. So basically, when you get the console, if you're going to be an early adopter, you're going to have online for free until the fall season. And at that point, they're going the way of Microsoft and Sony. They're going to start charging you for online. And people complain about this all the time, but to me, it was inevitable anyways. Like online is getting to the point where it's getting pretty pricey to have like a decent online. The only problem with this is Nintendo hasn't really proven themselves yet to people about having a good online service because the previous two consoles have been kind of meh connection for online.
a little bit.
Like Smash Brothers, for example, it's abysmal.
Yeah, like even with at least for me, even when I had like good connection, it still was like, oh, get me out of this game, please.
Yeah, the problem with games like Smash is that it was a peer-to-peer connection. They didn't have a server for it, I believe. But they did have a server for Splatoon, which we could base things off of, and even then, there was things where Splatoon got a little wonky. Like, you would hit an enemy, and it didn't do anything to them, or you would defeat splat an enemy, and then a few seconds later, you start getting attacked out of nowhere, and then you die, and it says the person that you just splatted you. So there's definitely some wonky things that happen, even in games where they had a server. And of course, there was Mario Kart 8 where you had teleporting people.
Now, hilariously enough, in Mario Kart 8 at least, it wasn't the absolute worst. That was pretty good actually. But yeah, there'd be
Yeah,
those moments where you're like, oh.
I should say Splatoon also had teleporting people.
Yeah, so like I know all online games does it. Nothing will ever be as bad as Mighty Number 9. But
Yeah.
because at least those games are manageable. But
Yeah.
to me at least, it seems like whenever I had a pretty bad experience, most of the time it had to do with a Nintendo game.
Mm. So, like, it's honestly, in a way, a good thing they're starting to charge things because now they're going to have more resources to actually get servers for games like Smash Brothers and improve the experience on games like Splatoon, at least in theory.
I hope.
That way, we'll have a lot better online experience. Of course, we still have to wait and see, right?
Yeah, this is assuming.
Assuming on paper it could be better. Of course, the way I see it is we have this we have this free trial, right? Splatoon is coming out in the summer. And Mario Kart is coming out in April 28th. We're gonna have a couple of games to try out this online service with. So by the time they do start charging for it, we'll have a pretty good idea of if it's worth to pay for it. And if at that point, like this, they're still teleporting people, there's still wonky hit detection, there's still a bunch of problems with the games. Then yeah, like you could totally say no, I'm not gonna pay for online anymore. That's it for me. It's honestly up to you, but at least we do have a chance to try it out before then. But if it is a lot better, then yeah, it might be worth paying for. Of course, we don't even know what the price is. It's definitely gonna boil down to like how much this thing is gonna be.
Yeah, that basically.
Another great thing about online actually is friend codes are no longer a thing. So that's really good. Of course, the Wii U didn't have friend codes either, but the 3DS did. Oh man, that's a pain in the butt.
It still does, yeah. It's still there. The stupid 12-digit code. But hey, at least they're just saying no, we're not doing it anymore, so that's pretty good. I did like the simplicity of just asking for name and just say I want to add you, and that's a lot better than having to type a 12-digit number, and then they type the 12-digit number, and then you just have to hope they're online at the same time.
So yeah, as we said before, Miiverse and Street Pass is gone, but Nintendo eShop is still a thing, of course. Why would they get rid of that? But it seems like if you look at the leaked pictures of the Switch UI, there's actually an option called Album, and it seems like that is where you're going to see all of your screenshots so you can share them on social media. But there isn't going to be like a Nintendo specific social media platform anymore. You know, Miiverse was a weird thing anyways. Like, you got banned for the stupidest stuff.
I never really used it, never really delved into it, so honestly, I don't even really care that it's gone.
Yeah.
So
we'll
see what they're going to replace it with, if it's even going to get replaced.
It was kind of cool. It's like a little novelty at first, but then it's like, I really don't care anymore. But I remember Miiverse was weird. Like, the moment you said a curse word or you drew a dick or something like that, you got banned.
I will say the really cool aspect about it is artists. Some artists did some pretty cool things, and
that was definitely the best thing about Miiverse.
Definitely something I'm going to miss. Like all the memes, all the super cool pictures. I wish there was a way to save them.
Yeah.
But you know,
that's another thing too. Like, we're not gonna be able to like walk around the Plaza of Splatoon anymore and see like memes pop up about the Inklings. That's not gonna be a thing anymore. Oh. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. But I also have another story about Miiverse. Is when I was first setting up my account at launch, I would like try to put that like I'm a YouTuber, like I'm ShadowZX on YouTube, and then I get a message from the server thingy. It's like, hey, you made a reference to another website or something. We're gonna have to take that off there.
Oh yeah,
don't do that anymore.
No, don't do that. Don't advertise yourself, boy.
Don't advertise yourself.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. That was honestly really silly. It's like, really?
Like, I guess.
But yeah, that's enough about that. After the presentation, a lot of people interviewed Reggie, the president of Nintendo of America, Reggie Fils-Aimé. So he claims that they're gonna have servers for games like Smash Brothers and Mario Kart. Like, he actually said Smash Brothers out loud when he said that. So I guess Smash Brothers port confirmed, kind of. But yeah, he said Smash Bros. Is getting servers, so that's actually an improvement from the Wii U, that's for sure. If that is indeed the case.
Oh yeah, for sure. No more fighting in molasses. I can actually fight. It's nice.
Right? I can actually play the game. Okay, so, and then here's where things get kind of... It just makes you go, what? So, as a part of this online service, you get a NES or a Super Nintendo game for free. Now, there's a catch to this because we're hearing that after the month is over, that NES or Super NES game gets taken away from you, which is really weird.
It's kind of stupid.
I gotta say, it's really stupid.
Like, unsubscribing to this online services is one thing, because you're not subscribed anymore. So why are we giving you free stuff? But
like PS Plus does.
Exactly. But like to take it away while you're subscribed, that's weird. Bizarre.
Like, let's be honest, how much money does Nintendo think they're losing by just giving us a free NES or Super NES game? Like, this is like a game that's at least a decade old. More than that. So like, are they really losing money by just throwing us a free retro game every once in a while?
Which will more than likely be Balloon Fight. Let's
right?
Be completely honest. It'll be something really... Well, it'll be okay, but it's not something I would spend my money over. So, yeah, like the fact that they're taking it away, that's what bothers me. Is like, why?
Right.
Why would you do that?
Why? I mean, it's like, no, shut up. You're gonna get Balloon Fight Iwata edition.
Oh my god. This is... Yeah, this is where it just gets weird. Like, really weird.
It's like something that only Nintendo would do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, they also did mention that these NES and Super NES games will, for some reason, have online functionality added to them, and I find that really interesting.
Yeah, that is bizarre to say the least.
Yeah. It's like, I actually want to check this out now. You know, I don't know if it will even be like exclusive to these NES or Super NES titles. What if they went beyond that for other virtual console games you could buy? Like, man, how cool would it be if we got online for Bound Network?
That'd be pretty cool. I like that.
Like, that would make any Bound Networks fans' dream come true.
Oh yeah,
because even back when the Bound Network games were coming out for the Virtual Console on the Wii U, I got a lot of questions like, "Hey, is Bound Network going to have online?" No. Oh.
Oh. Oh man. But yeah, like if it's true that these classic games are going to have online functionality, and it's like what we think it is, you can play with literally somebody over the internet, and they expanded to the other systems as well. Bruh.
Like, I wouldn't be mad at that point about paying for online if that were true.
And it's kind of sad that they're getting us with nostalgia. That's how they're getting our money.
I mean, it
works. It works. That's the worst part.
It totally works.
Like, I hate you for doing it, but just take my money.
Nostalgia plus. Well, other than that, though, they have exclusive discounts, digital games, and content. Just like with PS Plus and Xbox, you get little discounts. So that's nothing really new.
Yeah.
But as a summary, what subscribers do get is you get to play games online. You get an online lobby and voice chat app. As we talked about before, you get the monthly game download, which might get taken away from you. I don't know, like, I wish Nintendo would just have a direct already that explain in detail all about the online service and the user interface for the Switch. Like, we just don't know anything or enough to really judge.
Exactly. Like, that's the thing too. Is like, I don't know how much this thing costs. Like, the fact that I might be losing these games monthly, but they're online, that also conflicts me as well. It's like, and then these the services that are providing is very, it's all right, cool, but really, what it comes down to is the price. What's the price? What is
the price?
What do we have to shell out of our pockets to make it worth it?
So the Finnish subscribers also get the exclusive deals. If you're a free user and you do not pay for the online service, you're going to get access to Nintendo eShop, so you can still buy games. I mean, why wouldn't you be able to? You can register and manage friends, and you can still share your screenshots to social media, so that's cool. At least they didn't take that away, I guess. And you can still use parental controls on the smartphone app. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, we're just way on that price, dude.
Yep, that's really what it comes down to, is the price.
Yeah, something that Nintendo, one of the Nintendo employees have said is like to stay tuned for more announcements and stuff on the Switch in the coming weeks. So that kind of makes me think that there may be a final direct right before launch that explains everything about the online virtual console, perhaps, and like other things that they left out in the presentation. At least I'm hoping they do. They really need to like clarify all this stuff.
Yes, they really do.
They really do. But with that said, let's get into probably the most exciting thing about the presentation. That's the games. Of course, we're not starting off too exciting because first we have 1-2 Switch. And this is basically Wii Sports for the Switch, in a sense. Like, this should have been the packing game, but for whatever reason, no,
yeah,
it's a $50
that's the
game
thing. This is not a packing game. I was watching this presentation. I'm like, oh, that's going to be pretty cool to play. I'm not really going to play it very often, but it'll be nice to do some of these things. And then later on, it's like, no, it's a standalone game for $50. I'm like, what?
I know. Yeah, so the Switch doesn't come with a packing game at all. If you wanna have a game to play on it, you gotta buy it yourself, which is kind of weird.
I mean, and this is like tech demo of the game to really,
it really is
like to show you what the Joy-Con can really do.
It's the game that allows you to test out HD rumble, the motion controls, and all that. So they have all these. What the game basically is it has all these mini games, and some examples are a Wild Western shootout game where you gotta draw before the other person. And this made me laugh when I first saw it. But they have a mini game where you're just milking cows.
Yeah,
I'm not joking.
No,
so you sit in a chair and you move the Joy-Con up and down like you're jacking off. I'm sorry, it had to be said.
Not one dick, but 2 dicks.
2 of them. You're doing this up and down motion as you're milking the cows, and apparently when you're holding the Joy-Con, you can feel the milk spilling down into your Joy-Con. Oh man, it's so bad.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
And then you have a dance posing game where you make a pose and another person has to make the same pose. Pretty simple. A samurai sword game where you're holding the Joy-Con above you like a sword, and what the other person has to do is they have to catch the sword. And then you have table tennis, and it's kind of weird that table tennis is a game because something we haven't talked about is this game is all about face-to-face interaction. You're not supposed to be looking at the screen. You're supposed to be going off of what the other person in front of you is doing and the Joy-Con itself. So, like, you're feeling the rumble and everything. And that's how you can tell, like, when the ball is coming towards you, is that you can kind of feel in your Joy-Con and you whack it to push the table, the tennis ball back. So, yeah, it's like, it's just, the way they're positioning this game is this is going to be a game where you can take it to parties and use it as kind of an icebreaker for people. Really some face-to-face interaction. So, I guess it might work in the way it's intended, but like, for the traditional gamer, they're not going to be into that. This is basically their Wii Sports. It's a kind of a tech demo game that you can play for a little bit, and you might get bored of it, like really quickly.
Yeah,
It's just there.
This is like office party. Yo, y'all want to milk some cows type deal, and it's like, all right.
You go to a hot girl at a party. It's like, hey, you want to milk some cows?
You want to milk my cow?
Yes.
But it's like, this is like the absolute most casual thing you will ever see in your entire life. You can probably look up the definition of casual, and 1-2 switch is right there in C also. It's just all right.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's not gonna sell, but
I think there's definitely gonna be a market for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Japanese people might like it.
Yeah.
They might sell it like hotcakes in Japan. I know the Switch is selling like hotcakes in Japan because Japan at this point has gone the way of mobile. They like handheld devices, and Switch scratches that itch for them. And heck, you can play console games on the go. That's amazing. So that's why Japan is really into the Switch. Of course, I guess in other territories it doesn't really matter. People like their console games on the big screen. So, it's all about culture, I guess. All I could say about 1-2 Switch to conclude is it should have been a packing game.
It definitely should have been.
Alright, but the next game we have is actually a lot more interesting. Because it's called ARMS, and it's kind of a silly name. But it's coming out in spring 2017, and this is essentially Wii Sports Boxing, but it's a lot more in-depth. So, you have these characters, and one of them is called Springman, funnily enough. And I was watching the presentation and the Discord server with other people, and we were kind of joking, like, hey, look, there's our Mega Man game. Springman's in it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, but like, I saw this game. First of all, when they started the trailer, we were like, it reminded us of like the trailer with Iwata and Reggie doing all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, I did get that vibe.
And then like all of a sudden, you see this little girl in school outfit, and like, dude. And then they just have spring arms just going at it, and I'm like, what in God's name am I looking at? And then, it's Omega boxing the game. But it does look pretty dope. I won't lie.
It looks pretty dope. The character designs remind you of Overwatch.
Yeah, it's got a pretty nice cartoony look to it. I like it.
So what you're doing is you're holding the Joy-Cons like the Wii Remote and Nunchuck on Wii Sports Boxing. But you punch, and then the character in the game extends their arm like a spring to attack the other person. And you can also twist your arm or twist your hand, and your punch will actually curve. So there's a bit more depth there. Like you gotta really have the right motions and think about what your opponent's gonna do and stuff like that. And, like, it's an actual game unlike Wii Sports Boxing, and it seems like the motion controls work pretty well. You can also tilt your Joy-Cons to move left and right and forward and backward, and I think you can press 2 buttons to guard from person's attacks. The other nice thing about the game is you can change out your arms too, so some arms do different things. And I was watching some gameplay of it on the Treehouse Live that they had after the presentation, and the game actually looks pretty fun. Like, I might actually pick it up, to be honest, whenever it comes out. It seems like something
it interests me, but To be honest,
Mhm.
I probably won't really buy it. At least not right away. Like, to me, it's like cool and all, but it's not like, oh god, I need to buy this game. Then again, I haven't tried it myself, so I really can't say that with confidence, I guess. But
Wait, I have to say, like, when I first saw the game, I'm like, okay, this is this. Like, I should say in general, when they start out the presentation, when they start out like the games with 1-2 switch and arms, I'm like, really? But like after the presentation, I started seeing the gameplay and everything. Like arms really grew on me. I think that's what happened to a lot of people as well. It's like the game grew on them.
yeah, that's probably what happened. That's the thing,
It's the
though.
same thing as Splatoon.
I have to try it before I can say, yeah, I
Yeah.
really like this.
I did hear good things from people that did try
I
it.
did hear as well. They were like, oh, it's pretty good.
It's like it was a surprise of the presentation essentially.
Exactly.
It seems like a motion controlled game that's actually kind of fun. Oh, I should also say you can play this game with traditional controls as well. You don't need to do the motion controls, so it's good they added that option in there. It seems like it's gonna be what Splatoon was to shooters in a way.
Maybe.
That's what I feel like Nintendo's trying to do with this. Hmm.
Honestly, we just have to see about that.
Right, and I did have that same kind of roller coaster with Splatoon where at first I'm like, what is this game? But then like it went from what to like, oh my goodness gracious, this is the best shooter game I've played in my life. So like, we'll see. Speaking of Splatoon, actually, that's a great segue into the next game because we have Splatoon 2. No, not a port, an actual sequel. Woo!
Yeah, that surprised me. I was like, I'm here expecting, oh, this is like Splatoon 1.5.
All right.
It's like an expansion pack, and I'm like, alright, what do you got? They're like, no, Splatoon 2! And we're like, okay. Alright. What you got?
There's different music. You got some new weapons to splat dualies that is like basically dual wielding weapons. You can do dodge moves with it to evade enemies, and then you can focus your shots that way. You got, I think there was another weapon, or was that the only new weapon? That may have been the only new weapon.
I'm not entirely too sure.
But then they had like all new specials. Like they even said multiple times that all of the specials in the game are completely brand new. So I don't know if any specials are returning at all. But they did have new stages and returning ones too. They showed Murray Towers in the demo. I mean, not in the demo, but in the trailer. And surprisingly, they added rails from the story mode into Murray Towers.
Oh, yeah?
That's never been in a multiplayer stage before.
Yep.
Oh yes, and we also got a note that you can customize your Inkling way more than you could before. You can get shorts and you can change your hairstyle. That's something you could never do in the original game, so that's definitely gonna add a lot more personality to your individual Inklings. So that's pretty nice. There's a curling bomb special weapon, and it bounces off walls, kind of like a hockey puck. And then when it gets close to Inkling, it explodes. And there's like a bunch of new stuff here. Like old weapon types are all in, as they said. The chargers have a new ability where you charge up your charger, and then you go into squid form. And then when you get out of your squid form, your charge is still stored. So basically, you can store your charges now, which is going to make chargers even more devastating than they already were.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Rollers have a new horizontal attack. So, a strat for rollers in the past has been they used to spam the jump button and then use your roller that way. But now when you jump and you use your roller, it does a horizontal attack and it flings the ink further than before, but it's not as a wide range as using it the standard way. So they're doing all these like different changes to the existing weapons as well to spice things up, I guess. Squid jumping is still a thing in this game. What you do is you press the X button to bring up your map. And then you can press the D-pad to jump to either your teammates or your spawn point. Or you can use the gyro controls as inside all the Joy-Cons and the Pro Controller. So you can play this game with any controller that you want.
Nice.
And then you just use the gyro controls so you can select exactly where you want to jump to. And then I assume there's going to be a special that utilizes the map too, probably, since they added that in there.
Probably.
I did hear from people that the gyro controls actually translate pretty well from the Wii U to this game. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, because gyro controls honestly is like what you really want to use.
Mm-hmm. Like, once you start using gyro controls of that game, you can't go back. It's so weird using traditional stick controls with Splatoon.
Yeah, I tried playing with a Pro Controller, and I couldn't. It just felt...
I know.
Like, it's really weird to say, but it just felt really awkward.
Actually, I just remembered in the original game for the multiplayer, like the 2-player mode locally, they actually let you strap a Wii remote onto a Pro Controller to imitate the gyro controls. I'm like, really? That's so Jimmy rigged. It's hilarious.
Alright.
But you don't have to strap a Wii remote controller anymore. So there you go. So, they also have a new cat for the judge. So you have a Judd, and then you have another cat. And I've seen the theory put out there that this is a clone of Judd, because Judd is supposed to be the last cat on Earth, according to the lore of Splatoon.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
This game has lore.
That lore is surprisingly deep, by the way.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, getting back to the weapons and the specials and all that, we have a new homing missile special, and it fires 4 missiles per enemy locked on. We have a splat bomb launcher special. It's basically like the specials where you spam the bombs from the previous game, but you have an actual launcher contraption, which is kind of funny. You have a Stingray special that fires a powerful stream and goes through walls, but once you activate it, you won't be able to move very freely. So positioning is going to be very important for that one. You have a special that we don't know the name for, but it summons a cloud and then rains down a bunch of ink, which is kind of cool. We have an inkjet special, and this is basically a jetpack, and man, that's kind of hype for me to see in the trailer.
A little bit.
An actual jetpack in Splatoon. You fly around and you can fire these explosive shots. And kind of funny is when the special expires, it explodes and the inkling just like flies over back to where you originally used it. So it's kind of a dangerous thing to use. You have a splashdown special that can be used in midair to deliver a ground pound, and it creates an explosion of ink around you. This is actually pretty dope because you might guys that have played Splatoon in the past may remember that sometimes you'll squid jump over to your ally, but there's going to be your enemy around there too sometimes. And what people like to do, I do this all the time myself, is when you see that marker that you're about to jump there, they'll start firing your weapon at that spot, so as soon as you land, you get splatted. Now, with this splashdown special, that's no longer a threat, because you could use it as you're squid jumping over there to create an explosion around you, and that will protect you from people that are trying to destroy you. So it makes for a way to support your support your fellow Inklings or secure a safe squid jump. So that's really cool. I'm not gonna lie.
I can see some team kills coming from that special, to be honest.
I know, right? It's like, we're gonna, we're gonna.
Like, oh.
It's like, we're gonna be scumbags and just shoot this one spot for eternity. Nope.
Oh no! Now I am the dead.
No, no, I got scumbagged.
Oh no!
Yeah, so that's pretty much it for all the new weapons. We also got a new story, of course, it's a sequel. So what happened is, this game takes place 2 years after the original Splatoon. Excuse me. So yeah, this game takes place after 2 years after the original, and funnily enough, it's also been almost 2 years since the original game came out. I think when this game does come out, it will be 2 years. It's kind of crazy to think about.
A little bit, actually.
It's been that long already. So instead of Inkopolis, now you have Inkopolis Square. So the layout is a lot different and everything, and it still looks pretty dope. I can't complain about that. One of the big mysteries the trailer presented though is where's Callie?
Oh yeah,
Where'd she go?
she you see Marie with a jacket, with her back facing the camera, looking kind of solemn a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm where's Callie? And the first thing that came to mind is,
go?
yo, she dead. She's super dead.
I think a lot of people assume that.
It's I've actually seen pretty funny pictures about it, where the Splatfest just finished and Callie was like, "Oh, yay, the best!" I'm so happy for you, the best squid won. And then Marie just straight up punched her through shoots her in the chest. She's like, "Yeah, the best squid did win." She's dead, lying on the floor dead. I was like, "Oh god, I love these people. They produce great content." But I think you told me that I don't know who, but somebody confirmed. No, she's still around. Calm down.
Yeah, that developer's just like, okay, guys, Callie's still in the game. Calm down.
She's still alive.
I find it hilarious that they had to make that post.
It's honestly, would it make it seem like she got kidnapped or something, or she is going to die? Who knows? I don't know.
That was my first reaction. My first thought was she got kidnapped by the Octolings or something.
Probably.
Because I assume, unless something happened in between those 2 years, we captured their leader. DJ Octavio is still inside that snow globe, probably. Mm-hmm. So, they're gonna be trying to take their leader back.
I can see that.
And they probably kidnapped Callie as a hostage, essentially.
As a bargaining chip.
Yeah. Exactly. It's pretty interesting, though, I'm not gonna lie. It sounds a lot deeper than the original Splatoon story was. So, I'm pretty interested to see that in action. And man, for the story mode, I hope we get, the stages will be designed around, all the weapons. So you can pretty much select whatever one you want to use.
Right.
That'd be really cool.
Or if you really want to make it super anticlimactic, you could be like, "Oh, Callie's here, but you need the amiibo." So here, buy the 2-pack for $24.99 plus tax.
Oh no. Well, actually, somebody spotted Callie on one of the posters in Ecopolis Square. So
yeah, there you go.
There you go. I like the original game. There's gonna be a constant stream of free stage and weapon updates, and probably Splatfest is coming back. It would have to. So It'd be kind of weird if if you only unlock Callie by beating the story mode. Like when if you don't beat the story mode yet and Splatfest happens, you only have Marie there singing by herself.
Oh,
That'd be kind of funny / weird / sad. Unless the Squid Sisters completely broke up. That was the other thing that came to my mind. It's like maybe they broke up.
oh, okay.
Like man, who would have thought Callie losing to Splatfest would have done all this? Man, I just had a thought. What if the whole reason behind the final Splatfest was to decide who was getting, who was going to go missing and who was not? Like if Callie won, Marie would be the one missing.
Oh man, that's deep.
That's just pretty deep.
That's pretty deep. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little too deep for comfort.
We created canon.
We determined their fates.
We determined the canon.
And to that I say yes.
Oh yeah.
So one thing I remember too is apparently this game is going to be free updates as well as the previous game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really cool because even though it started off very bland, like there wasn't very much in the beginning, the fact that it was like free updates, that was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. New stages, new weapons. That lasted for like a year or something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Like wow.
Like a whole year of
that was really cool. There's always something to look forward to in Splatoon.
And probably the best thing in this entire presentation, or at least in the Splatoon portion, is can we talk about the dude? Like this man's like
this man's like Splatoon 2.
Splatoon 2. And he's like
does his pose.
He's doing like JoJo stances.
With the splat doolies in his
hand. It's like the most silliest thing ever, and I'm not gonna lie, I was like, wow, this is kind of cringy, but you know what? It's
funny because he doesn't just do it out of the blue. He's like, no, wait, I forgot something very, very important.
Oh yeah,
Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2. It's very important, guys. Don't forget it.
It's like, oh my god, what am I looking at? Oh jeez. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that dude was nuts. He was out of control.
But anyway, Splatoon 2 comes out this summer, which is really good. You know, we don't have to wait very long after launch. And yeah, this is definitely a game that a lot of us, even in the Discord, and kind of like the Shadow community, are looking forward to. And apparently, Lily really wants me to do a stream of it when it comes out. You know what? I don't mind. Sure. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Splatoon, though.
Yeah, I won't lie. At first, I wasn't because I thought it was just going to be like an upgrade, but no, it's just straight up sequel. So I'm like, yep, I'm sold. I got to get this game now.
Yeah, so like starting from Splatoon, this is the part of the presentation where my hype levels reach the maximum throttle, because the next few announcements here are like, oh my goodness gracious, yes. So literally the next game they announced is a little game we called Super Mario Odyssey. So this is the rumored Mario game. I mean, we saw it in the reveal trailer last year. It was really teased at. This is that 3D looking Mario game. And as we were all hoping, it has been confirmed that this is going to be a sandbox style game, just like Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
That's really big because people, including myself, I was hoping for this too. Like, people have been asking a long time for another Mario 64 type game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's great to have another one of these because 3D Land was a pretty cool game. And I liked 3D World. It was a good game, but it also wasn't what everybody wanted.
Yeah.
It was just, it kind of outstayed its welcome. We just wanted another Mario 64.
It's really what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm. So I'm glad they're not doing that again. So, but the weirdest thing about this trailer is Mario starts out in this really realistic city. It's basically New York, and there's like generic people around,
like
everywhere.
Not only that, but he's like so tiny in comparison.
And his art style doesn't match.
No, not even remotely close. What was the city called again? I completely forgot. But it was very, like, it had a lot of Donkey Kong references. A lot.
Yeah. It was called, I think it was like New Donk City.
I think so. New Donk City. It should have been New Donk City. Let's be completely honest. Yeah, New Donk City. Yeah, because, like, people were pointing out if you look at the trailer, like, at certain points, you see, like, street names resemble, like, characters from the different characters from Donkey Kong.
Yeah, so when I saw this part, first thing that came to my mind is Sonic Adventures. Sonic has had a lot of games where he's interacting with real human beings, even though it doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
It's just there. He's like in this real city, running around.
To me,
it reminded me of that.
To me, it's a little weirder because he's like he's a person.
Exactly.
And it's like, he's like so different in comparison to like regular dude. It's so bizarre.
It's like, but yeah, like you can see, Mario's a human, but that's a human too. What's the difference?
But then it cuts to like a crazy world, like what you would expect to see in a Mario game, and you're like, okay, what is going on? Because
yeah, so it should be said that the developers have confirmed that in the story of this game, Mario is no longer in the Mushroom Kingdom. He's left it. So this is why we have all these weird worlds that we would never see in a Mario game. So yeah, as you said, we go to like he gets on this spaceship kind of thing.
Yeah.
And just travels over to this other world. And you have like a desert world. And the desert world is actually what we saw in the original Switch trailer.
Yes.
And it looks pretty good, I'd say. And then the forest world. The forest world looks pretty cool. It seems like something out of Legend of Zelda, to be honest. Like, I saw that scene where Mario's just kind of casually walking through the forest. That looks something out of Ocarina of Time.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, like the Lost Woods. And then you have a really colorful, like, candy-looking world. That has a lot of vegetation. You even see Mario carrying a turnip like he does in Mario 2. See, it should also be said, Mario's gonna have a lot of moves in this game, like he did in Mario 64 and Sunshine. And they even had like a little video showing off like all his different moves. So it's good to know that his moveset's gonna be quite varied. And one of his moves actually is now he can throw his hat like a weapon. And he can even use that hat as a platform. That's
I was like, cool. okay, Nintendo, you got my attention even more. All right, okay.
Holy crap!
And then even better, there's this Bowser who's like beyond pimped. Like he's got like white suit, white top hat, everything. I was like, all right.
He is the pimpiest of pimps.
He's a pimp now.
He's pimp.
Where's the cane? But yeah, apparently he's trying to marry Princess Peach again.
Right. Again. One of the scenes you see Mario's on his airship, like one of Bowser's airships, and Bowser's going to attack Mario, and Peach is there, and she does that like generic Mario. That clip, the same clip you hear in every Mario game in recent memory.
yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, like, you think they're really gonna keep that clip, or they're gonna record new ones?
No, they're gonna keep it.
Yeah, probably. It's just kind of funny. Because I think somebody said they started using those lines since the Galaxy games. So it's been a while. Okay, so another scene, the one of the desert world. We saw Mario riding a Sphinx, which is kind of funny. Never seen Mario ride a Sphinx before.
I know, it's a little bit kind of funny.
It's like, where's Yoshi?
If anything, it was more reminiscent to Super Mario Land, kind of.
Yeah, it does give you that Mario Land vibe.
So yeah, it's like, oh, so Yoshi's not a thing anymore.
Well, he could be. He's just not in the trailer.
Yeah, because they aren't in the Mushroom Kingdom, so it does make sense. But I don't know, maybe one came over. Who knows? Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the trailer, it's like, all right, do we see the game, Mario?
Well, before we get there, I wanted to mention a little observation I made, is that we see, like, rabbit enemies in this game. And they're, like, riding an airship and everything. They look kind of familiar. Like, not exactly. They looked a little bit like an evolution of the rabbits.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, people have been talking about a rumor that apparently Ubisoft is working on a Super Mario and Rabbids crossover game. And a lot of people thought it was going to be announced for launch, but it wasn't, at least yet. And I have to wonder, after seeing these rabbit enemies, I don't think this is the game, but maybe that's what people mistook as the rumor. Maybe these are the quote-unquote rabbids. It's just a theory anyways.
Maybe.
A game theory. Thanks for watching. Just kidding.
Give me ratings.
Now subscribe to my channel.
But yeah, it is quite interesting indeed, I will say.
But anyways, you can continue.
Yeah, we see the trailer. I mean, we see the title, Mario, Super Mario Odyssey, cool. And then, like, you see Mario. First of all, Mario looks hella detailed. Whoa.
Yeah.
Like,
you can see the hair strands on his mustache.
And, like, on his head as well. It's like, oh, this is pretty detailed. And all of a sudden, boom, my hat has eyes.
Oh, okay.
It's like, okay. And
so yeah, Mario has a partner now that's literally his hat. It reminds me of The Legend of Zelda Minish Cap.
Yeah, a little bit.
So if you play that game, it's probably what you're going to expect from this game. And as they said, Nintendo said that the new hat partner is going to play an important role.
Yep.
Whatever that means.
Now, this game, I definitely want it. I want it. I need it.
It's coming out this holiday.
Yeah, that's bummed me out. I was like, oh no, how are you gonna do this to me?
I mean, to be fair, Nintendo needs a big holiday game for this year. But they really want to have a success with this console, so I understand. But man, the wait is gonna be real. At least we have Zelda to play until then.
Yeah, at least.
And then maybe this game too that we're about to talk about. And that is, drumroll please, it is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. What? Are you serious?
Yeah. That's the thing that happened.
Holy crap. Okay, I was not expecting this at all. Because we knew going into this presentation that there may be something Monolith Soft have something to do with Monolith Soft going in there. Because apparently the wife of the founder of Monolith Soft retweeted the presentation. So I was like, okay, they're gonna have an announcement there. But I didn't expect this. Like, most of us were expecting maybe a port of Xenoblade Chronicles X. But no. Yeah, so it kind of blows my mind because the last time we heard from Monolith Soft, to my understanding, like half the team went over to Nintendo in order to help out with developing Zelda Breath of the Wild. And then like the other half of the team was supposed to be working on the localization of Xenoblade Chronicles X. So, man, I didn't know they were working on this game though. Like, this is kind of out of the blue.
Yeah, like whoa.
I'm really surprised they kept this under wraps. And to make it even more mind blowing, it seems like this game's a lot closer to a completion than, say, the first time we saw Xenoblade X. Like, this game looks almost done. They even have the voice acting in already. So you gotta know that they at least have the story script all done and ready to go. So, whoa. Yeah, this game is slated for 2017. And the fact that it might come out this year, that's huge.
Yeah, it's
Like, to be fair, it might get delayed. I'm pretty sure it's gonna get delayed. But the fact that they're even trying for this year, that just tells me that this game has been in development longer than any of us imagined. It's like, man, how long were they working on this game? Gotta wonder.
apparently a long time.
Yeah, so anyways, to get into the game itself, this is gonna be the sequel to the original Xenoblade, not X. X was a completely different thing. No, they're going back to the original series this time, which is kind of funny because Xenoblade X left off of a bit of a cliffhanger to it at the end of its story. But I think the original Xenoblade ended off pretty well. Like, it concluded everything. So it's kind of weird that going back to that storyline. But I don't mind. So we have brand new characters and story. I don't see Shulk or anybody in that trailer. It's gonna be completely new characters and everything. They look good. I also noticed the graphics look a lot more anime-like compared to the other Xenoblade games. The other Xenoblade games were definitely stylized, but in a more realistic way. But this is definitely more anime-like, which I don't mind. Maybe it might make some people mad. I honestly don't know. I haven't seen too much reactions to this game, but I like the anime style. It works. It definitely beats having a super pixelated original Xenoblade game.
Well, but yeah.
Because it was on the Wii and it wasn't HD, so it's a bit pixelated at times. Yeah, so, like I said, the Japanese voice acting is already in, so that kind of tells me that this game is closer to completion than one would suggest. We also still have those larger-than-life creatures that we've known to see in the original Xenoblade. So this is basically, we're still on Bionis, possibly. And everything is still going to be, like, bigger than us. Which I always liked that about the original Xenoblade, where we're really microscopic compared to the world itself. It's actually really nuts.
Yeah, I never really played it, but I won't lie, it does seem pretty interesting to me at the very least. So I mean, if you're a huge fan, I would definitely hope to get it this year.
Oh, for sure, dude. Like, I have no doubt this would be pretty good. Like, a Xenoblade game's never let me down before, so. But at the end of the trailer, we saw the main character, and he has a sword that looks really a lot like the Monado from the original Xenoblade. So I guess I would have to say you had the Monado again for some reason. Something happened. So that's kind of cool. But there's not really much to say about this game, to be honest. Those are just my observations. But I can talk about the significance of this game, because if it is coming out this year, that means we got a pretty great RPG game right in the first year of the Switch's life. And that's definitely a lot better than the Wii U. The Wii U didn't get Xenoblade X until like its last year of full support. So yeah, definitely an improvement. It honestly just gets a bit more interesting because the next game is Fire Emblem Warriors.
What's
Yeah,
really
I wasn't
funny
expecting this
is
game either.
I didn't know it was Fire Emblem Warriors. The moment I saw the title, I was like, "Oh, it's a Warriors game." But my brother called out each and every sword that came out, and also called the shield, and he was like losing his balls. He was like, "Oh, it's Fire Emblem! Oh, oh!" I'm like, "Oh."
I'm not even that big of a Fire Emblem fan, but I even knew it was Fire Emblem related. But I didn't know it was a Warriors game. I just thought, oh, okay, a new Fire Emblem game, cool.
I That's
No,
funny
it's
because
Fire Emblem
I picked
Warriors.
up it was a Warriors game, but I didn't think it was Fire Emblem, and then you picked up that it was Fire Emblem, but didn't think it was a Warriors.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, we have a Fire Emblem Warriors game, which means we're getting rock rendition songs of our favorite tunes.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in this game. And actually, after the presentation happened, we got a little bit more footage of Fire Emblem Warriors and the announcement that this game is also coming on the new 3DS.
I guess.
Oh, man.
Sure.
At least it's not going to be on the original 3DS because, oh, man.
Yeah.
Hyrule Warriors on the original 3DS runs like poop.
A complete doo-doo.
The doo-doo was real. But it runs well enough. Like, the graphics aren't as good, but it runs well enough on the new 3DS, so I guess. Oh, man. But I'm definitely going to pick it up for the Switch. There's no question about that. I think what Nintendo's trying to do with this is they don't want to let go of the 3DS just yet, because there's always the possibility that the Switch might not do as well as they hoped. So they don't want to put all their bank on the Switch solely and dismiss that big, pretty sizable user base they already have on the 3DS. So I think there may be one more year of support for the 3DS yet, as Nintendo sees how well the Switch does in its first year.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Yep. There was other Fire Emblem games that were announced recently, but it's not Switch related, so we won't talk about them here. All I can say about the game is they're not really enough to go off on, but we do see Kron beating up a bunch of soldiers, and he does his special attack, and looks pretty good. I also think the graphics look pretty nice, in my opinion. It reminded me of a PS4 game, Dragon Quest Warriors. It looked like that game to me. So it's kind of nice that while this might not be as powerful as the PS4, we're probably going to get some PS4 looking games on this system at least, which is pretty cool. That's all I really got out of that game, though.
Yeah. Like they even in the Fire Emblem presentation, they barely showed anything.
Right. And then Square Enix also announced some more games. They have Dragon Quest X, or Dragon Quest X, Dragon Quest XI, and they also announced that Dragon Quest Heroes, which is Dragon Quest Warriors, as I was saying before, 1 and 2 is coming as like a bundle to the Switch. So that's cool. You can play those games on the go. That's like the big thing about the Switch is like these might not look as pretty as their PS4 counterparts, but the fact that you can play them on the go is pretty enticing to some people.
I had to stretch a bit.
Oh, okay. And then Square Enix announced another game that we never heard of before. It's called Project Octopath Traveler, and it looks like a really like a retro kind of game.
Is that the name of the
Little
game?
pixel
Like
art.
that has like the super retro background. This was
Yeah.
like the most interesting game to me in the entire presentation. Not
Oh,
counting
really?
Breath of the Wild. I was like, what is this game? This game looks gorgeous. I was like, I want this game.
The game of the pixel art. And all
Yeah.
that?
Like
See, I had a different reaction.
like I don't know why, but I just had like it just looked amazing. I was like, it popped out to me. I think if anything, it reminded me of kind of like how would I say it? I guess kind of like something like Super Metroid-esque, where it may have been like a 16-bit game, but it looked gorgeous. That's what it reminded me. Like it just looked, it looked
I could see
really nice. I was like, oh, like it blew my mind. Even though like we didn't get very much details about it, but I was like, oh, I want this game now.
So I had like the opposite reaction. It didn't blow my mind, and I was like, "Oh man, those graphics, it's not doing it for me." But seeing that you're pretty excited about it gives me more hope about it. Like maybe it probably is going to be pretty good. You know, I just didn't have that same hype that you did.
That's
Upon seeing
understandable.
it.
I just really liked like the I guess sprites and like those kind of games. Like that's why like Metroid Fusion is like one of my favorite games too. It's just like
Metroid Fusion is my favorite Metroid game, period.
Yeah.
So I definitely see where you're coming from with that.
So it definitely grabs the attention for those who really love it when it's like all sprite or pixels.
It's one of those things again that we didn't really see that much of it. I wish I could have saw more of the game to see like more of like a representation of the graphics.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Everything comes together.
Why did we just get just seconds or a minute? We got nothing.
Oh yeah, one thing I did kind of see is when I first saw this game, I thought we were gonna get like a Bravely kind of game, like Bravely Third, perhaps, because they showed like a picture of some characters, and the art style really reminded me of the Bravely series.
Oh yeah, I believe it is. It's supposed to be I believe it's from the same guys.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's also interest to me too. It's like, oh, and this got Bravely things.
No, I can get behind that. I love the Bravely series.
It's like, bruh. It's like the littlest things in this presentation was what really got me.
Yeah, so and then we got another announcement. This is from Atlas, and what's going on is it looks like they're going to develop a new Shin Megami Tensei game for the Switch, which is pretty cool. I don't really know much about Shin Megami Tensei, but I remember during the presentation, or actually it was after that, some people in our Discord server was talking about a character called Mari or Mary that they were really excited that she was in the game. I don't personally know the significance of that, but I guess that's cool for the people that are fans of Shin Megami Tensei. The only SMT game I really played is what's it called? Oh, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and I've also played Persona 3 and Persona 4, but that's all I really played from that series. But even then, they're like a sub-series, I would say. So.
Yeah, I haven't played anything of it, so I wouldn't really know.
But it seems like development literally just started, so we're gonna be waiting a while for that game.
Do you want to take a little break, actually?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm feeling a little antsy. Kind of want to move around a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever wanted to ask ShadowRock when's rots? Have you ever wanted to tell THP to get good? Ever wanted to ship Sapphire with practically the entire planet? And have you really wanted to know where is Hero Azure? Well, all those very valid and beautiful questions can be asked in a brand new ShadowRockZX Discord server. Come join us and other fans alike in one big group chat or call thing. We can chill, play games, or even hold events in the near future. We'll more than likely talk about how Mega Man X expand our dongs. That's https://discord.goodgame@ 9AQEUT3. I'm just kidding. The link's gonna be in the description of the video for your convenience. Discord, where chaos thrives, and we said yes.
Alright, for the rest of this podcast, if I sound low, it's because people are sleeping right now and I need to keep my voice down. So, what we left off is, next on stage, Sega came, and they basically pledged their support, said they're making games for it. It's kind of funny that Sega and Nintendo work so closely nowadays when, in the past, they were basically at each other's throats.
Yeah. And it was always, oh, Genesis can when Nintendo don't.
Yeah, and I was watching the Gaming Historian on YouTube, and I was watching the video where they're talking about how like the ESRB rating came about, and I think it was like the vice president or like the lawyer guy that helped out Nintendo at the time, Howard. Man, he put the shade on Sega.
Jeez.
the most gigantic shade ever. But that's besides the point. The point is Sega is gonna make games for the Switch. I mean, anybody could have guessed that. But probably the funniest thing about this is this is the point where the translator started to get a little a
little iffy.
Like terrible. And next, I think some of these translators are gonna get fired. If not already.
Yeah, this one it wasn't as bad, but it
wasn't as bad, but it'll get worse later on.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yeah, so the next one that came up is Skyrim is confirmed for Switch. I think it was like the head of Bethesda. He's like, "Yep, Skyrim's on Switch," and blah blah blah. And that's cool. Skyrim is a good game. And you can take it on the go, which is kind of cool.
I guess.
Yeah. So, anyways, and then Suda51 from Grasshopper gets on stage and he starts talking about like Travis is back and it's basically like a No More Heroes game, but he says the title wasn't decided on yet. But it was very difficult to understand what he was saying because the translator was horrendous.
I did hear that there were things that Suda was saying that wouldn't translate very well in English, so the translator was like, but yeah.
I heard that too.
At this point, you're like, dude, this translator's gonna get fired so hard. Hype for No More Heroes, and Travis is back, but yo, that guy's getting fired.
Yo, like
hard.
That whole section just fell so flat because of the translator.
Yeah, it's like it was supposed to be such a hype thing, and like, no, not even remotely.
It was, to give you an idea of how it was like, so I was going to I was going to some conventions and it was basically like that. It's like, oh man.
But
really?
The thing is, not only did he sounded confused, but he also sounded very uninterested. Like,
yeah, too.
So
very uninterested.
So, and I think what's really funny is it was like days later, I think, or maybe like a day or two afterwards. But apparently, literally, Nintendo of America's like, yo, anyone here is a good translator?
No.
So that like Omega confirmed that guy got so fired.
He got bodied.
He got bodied by the pink slip.
He got sent a Ganondorf statue.
Oh no. Not the Ganondorf statue. Oh my gosh.
Nobody's gonna get that.
Nobody, but it's I mean, some people might if they read up on some things. But yeah, that guy is gone. That guy's gone.
Oh man,
dude, bro is disappeared super fast. But yeah, we're getting a new No More Heroes 3, so that's nice.
Travis I never played the series, but I did hear some good things about it.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Nice. And yes, you do jack off. That's how you charge your lightsaber.
Nice.
Not even joking.
Yeah, so speaking of people that are gone, EA came back and they're like, "Hey, we're bringing FIFA to the Switch." Yay?
I find it funny that like I couldn't take it very seriously because one, in my mind, I heard nothing but boos all over the world. Nothing but boos. But secondly, holy crap, is he tall in comparison to Bill?
I know, that dude is tall.
Like, I was like, oh my god, how do you do this?
I like how he made it a point. Like, hey, I like Nintendo. My son's middle name is Luigi. Yeah.
Like, he did not want to be there at all.
Dude, like, the guy sounded so uninterested. He's like, I really don't want to be here right now.
He's like, listen, I'm just here to put out my soccer game and saying that it's here.
And then never make another Switch game again.
I just want to go home and never come back. Ever. Never come back.
Like, dang, dude.
It was pretty funny, though.
Yeah. And in case you don't understand the context, basically, when the Wii U was launching, EA is like, yeah, we're going to support Nintendo of all these games, and then they just completely abandoned them and started talking crap about the Wii U afterwards.
Yep.
That's so funny. So I guess we're going to have a repeat of that, perhaps. We'll see. Like, when it comes down to it, it's going to be based on how well the Switch sells when it comes to the third-party developers. Because if the money is there, they'll make it work.
Basically.
And then after that, they're like, okay, so that ends my part of the presentation. Thank you. And my heart sank at that point. I was like, wait, that's it? Is this all you're going to show? And then they started showing us a sizzle reel. I was like, oh man, no, I hope this isn't the end of it. It isn't, but it was getting very close to the end.
Yeah, they were showing off like games that were going to come out, like some that are already out, some that are coming out.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to go through the list here very quickly. We have Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania is pretty dope looking. It's a true return to the 2D Sonic formula, so I'm pretty interested in that game. It's coming to the Switch, I think, this spring. We got Sonic 2017, the next 3D Sonic. We got Minecraft and Minecraft Story Mode, the complete adventure. So we got Minecraft on the Switch. You can take it on the go with like the full fidelity and features. So that might be enticing to some people, because Minecraft is a pretty big game.
Yeah. I don't know about story mode though.
It's basically like any Telltale game, right? It's just you play it once and you're done.
Yeah, it's like a choose your own adventure, and I put heavy quotes on choose your own adventure.
Right. And then we have Skylanders Imaginators. That's actually a launch game, and I don't know. I'm surprised Skylanders is still a thing, because last time I checked it, the toy to life market is like failing super hard. Aside from Amiibo, I guess. I don't know. But I guess if you like Skylanders, there you go. You can play on a new console as well. Rayman Legends, that's kind of funny because Rayman Legends was originally going to be a Wii U exclusive. And they're like, nah. It came out for every platform later on.
Yep.
But now it's going to be a Switch title, I guess. Sure, why not? Lego City Undercover, this was also a game that came out like the first year of the Wii U's life. It's a pretty decent game. At least it was something to play when the Wii U had literally nothing.
Yeah.
But now it's coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. It's kind of weird. I've been noticing all of these games from early on in the Wii U's life are coming back for the Switch. I don't know what that means.
Please like our games. Please buy my system.
Like game. And we have Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. I know some people are really into that. I'm not really into fighting games though. But I'm sure it's fine. We have Farming Simulator. I have no comment on that. Disgaea 5. I heard good things about that series. It's like a strategy RPG, I believe. And it should be nice. Just Dance 2017. That's also a launch title. My sisters are into that series. Puyo Puyo Tetris. Let me say that again. Puyo Puyo Tetris. That's like a crossover between the Puyo Puyo series and Tetris. And it actually looks kind of fun. I may look into that a little bit more myself. But it's nice. We got Snipper Clips, and that's coming in March, the first month of the Switch. But I don't know if it's going to be launched. I doubt. Well, maybe it might be. Guess we'll see. But this is actually a new IP created by Nintendo. And I've seen some reactions online, and people were actually getting into the Snipper Clips game because what it is you can play this cooperatively with someone. You control these two little characters where you can cut parts of each other off to make these shapes that help you solve a bunch of these puzzles. So it's kind of an interesting game in that way. And then Story of Seasons, I know there's a cult following on that game too. Doesn't really interest me that much. I think it's kind of like, I think it is basically Harvest Moon, if you know what that game is.
Stardew Valley?
No, Story of Seasons.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, Stardew Valley. I heard that game was good. Never seen or played it though.
It's basically Harvest Moon, but 2D.
Oh, okay.
People like it
Story
a lot,
of
though.
Season. Was that?
People do like it a lot. Like,
nice.
A lot, so it's pretty cool that it's coming to the Switch.
Yeah, man. And then we have Rhyme, which is coming in spring 2017. Actually, I don't know anything about that game. I just know it's on the list.
Me neither.
Alright, Redout. That's kind of like let's just say Redout and Fast RMX. Fast RMX is coming out in March, but both of these games look like racing games inspired by F-Zero. So if you're into that, that's pretty dope. I wish Nintendo would just make an F-Zero game already, though. I was actually playing the original F-Zero on the Super Nintendo yesterday, and I was having fun with it. So, man, if only. If only.
If only.
Okay, and then we have another launch title. It's The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. And apparently that plus is a important distinction. I haven't played the game before, so I don't know exactly why, but I guess it's like more content, maybe an extra campaign. And I know there is a cult following behind The Binding of Isaac as well. So it's cool that's coming to Switch. And then we have Has Been Heroes that's coming in March. It's another indie game. And I saw some footage of it. It's basically you're controlling like these 3 lines of soldiers, and you gotta press these buttons in time to defeat enemies as they're coming down the rows. It's interesting at the very least. And then we have Steep, which is a snowboarding game. It's from Ubisoft. It's their big blockbuster snowboarding game. Nothing much more to say in that. And then the other launch game is I Am Setsuna. This is a game by Square Enix, and I believe it's like an indie game. But interesting about it is it's basically the spiritual successor to Chrono Trigger. The battle system is very similar to that. So I'm actually really interested in that game.
And then there's NBA 2K18.
Woo. That was actually in the reveal trailer too.
Oh no.
Like these bros are like, oh yeah, I'm so much fun playing NBA at the basketball court.
I'll be fair though, it really is not my cup of tea, but people do like it. So
yeah, people like it. Like there's people that love sports games, but I will never ever understand the appeal of it. I mean, there's definitely a reason why they make sports games every year. People do like it.
Yep.
I would just never get it, I guess.
Yeah, I won't either.
Lastly on this list, we have Nobunaga's Ambition, Sphere of Influence. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Japanese exclusive title. Like most of these games. But Nobunaga had a crossover with Pokemon once, which I did hear good things about. So, if you're in Japan at least, that might be a title for you. Okay, we have some other games that they showed after the presentation. Apparently, there's a Untitled Tales of game. So, like, for example, Tales of Xillia, Tales of Symphonia, that series. So we got another RPG coming from the Tales of series. That's pretty cool. We have Untitled SteamWorld game, BlazBlue or BlazBlue, and then some games that me and you like, Yooka-Laylee and Shovel Knight.
Yep.
So if you don't know what Yooka-Laylee is, it's like the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie, and it's like a chameleon and a bat, and it looks really good. It's basically going back to those Mario 64 roots, those Banjo-Kazooie roots, like Mario Odyssey is.
Yep.
So that's coming out in April. It's really soon. Should be good. Hopefully it comes to Switch in April, because recently they canceled the Wii U version in order to work with Nintendo on a Switch version.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. And Shovel Knight is getting, a lot of people here know what Shovel Knight is. It's a pretty dope 2D platforming game. And it's actually getting a new expansion called Spectre of Torment, where you can play as Spectre Knight. And from what I've seen, that's looking really good. Spectre Knight is more of a melee character like Shovel Knight is, and he can climb up walls. I shouldn't say climb up. He literally walks up the walls. And then he can grind on rails with his scythe, like kind of like a skateboard. I was like, whoa, okay. That's kind of funny, but cool.
We'll just have to wait and see later.
And he can do this homing attack, kind of like Sonic, where he can lock on to enemies and then slice right through them to progress through levels or to constantly attack enemies. So yeah, it's definitely looking really good. We have Siberia 3. I don't know what that is. I just know that exists. Okay. We'll talk about the launch lineup later, but we have some more other games to talk about. So, Capcom announced Ultra Street Fighter 2, the final challengers. And it's kind of funny, 25 years later, Street Fighter 2 is still getting updates.
Yep.
It's got still getting new characters. Of course, these are kind of like rehashed characters, but it's Evil Ryu and Evil Ken. So there you go. And you can play in HD or in classic pixelated mode. So I guess you have like a little bit of a fighting game on the Switch now. And there was a fighting pad that they kind of leaked before the announcement. So I guess that's what that is for. I guess that's that. I guess that is what that is for. There. um.
Yeah, there's.
And then, what's it?
No, they're still updating this game.
They're still doing it. Classic Capcom.
Yep.
But no Mega Man.
No Mega Man.
No Mega Man.
But no, I need another reincarnation of Street Fighter 2.
Where's my Ultra Mega Man 2, the final Robot Masters?
Oh jeez. I won't lie though, it does look pretty.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm just not into fighting games myself. So, but the next one I'm pretty interested in, it's Super Bomberman R. The return of Bomberman. What else can I say? People have been wanting a Bomberman game for a while now, and now they're like, oh my gosh, Bomberman's back. Awesome. Funny thing is though, it's being made by Konami. Konami's making games? What?
Oh? It's not a pachinko machine?
It's not a pachinko machine?
Yet.
Yeah, I know, right? Can't wait for that. But anyways, you can play up to 8 players. So this is going to be that game at launch. This is a launch game, by the way. It's going to be that game at launch where you can really try out that 8-player scenario with the Switch. So, nice. Has a story mode, and has some pretty cute cutscenes from what I saw, and has 50 stages to it. Here's some downsides to it, though, from what people have said and what I've seen myself. The first one is the game runs at 30 frames per second. I mean, and the graphics look kind of budget. It's just very jaggy looking. It doesn't look like a game that should be going any less than 60 FPS. And then I was looking at the explosions, and they remind me of My Number 9. I'm not gonna lie. It's not as bad, but it definitely has that pizza explosion vibe to it.
Oh.
In a Bomberman game. That's all about the explosions. So, otherwise it looks like a fun game overall. As long as it's fun.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to it.
Yep. Okay, the next one we have is, for some reason, they didn't talk about this game much in the presentation itself. But we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So, it's a port of Mario Kart 8 from the Wii U, but it does have some new additions. It has some new characters, which are the Inklings. Yeah, Splatoon is going to be in Mario Kart 8. Wow. So we have Inklings, Bowser Jr., Dry Bones, and King Boo. And we have confirmation of 2 items that are returning, which is the Feather and the Boo item. Okay, but this is the most exciting thing to me about this port is the battle mode is actually a legitimate battle mode now. What a concept.
I know, it's no longer, here's the track, go do things.
here's a racetrack. Go hit each other's shells. But no, this is an actual battle mode as you would remember from the Nintendo 64 days. It's real battle arenas. And they have a lot of modes in this one. They have Shine Runners, Coin Rush, Balloon Battle, Bomb on Blast, and a brand new Piranha Plant mode. So there's definitely some variety there. And then Mies will be back, and the weekly amiibo unlocks a costume.
Oh.
So, yeah, you can use your Splatoon amiibo for something other than Splatoon. The game will run at 1080p 60 FPS as it should on the TV, and in multiplayer, from what I heard, it's no longer going to go down to 30 FPS when you're playing with more than 2 people, so that's definitely a plus.
That's definitely a plus.
So, it is a port, but at least Nintendo is making small upgrades to the overall experience, since we're working with slightly more powerful hardware than the Wii U was. So, according to the Japanese stream, though, the game is going to have 48 race courses, which people are pointing out is the exact same number as the Wii U version. So, the question is, are we going to have brand new courses, or is this it? It's just battle mode and new characters and a couple items.
Honestly, Well, actually, I'll get to it in the very end, but yeah, it's really cool the fact that yeah, it's. I mean, we finally have we have a battle mode. I wouldn't call the other thing a battle mode. I just call it
Right.
just something.
It's just a thing.
It's just there. But yeah, honestly, this is definitely a pretty good upgrade. I mean, for some people, it might not be worth it because this would fall under the category of like how I felt about Splatoon, where it felt like a 1.5 or
Yeah.
like it's an upgrade, but it's not like a full on sequel.
It's gonna be a hard sell to some people, especially because there's not gonna be brand new tracks from what it's sounding like.
Yeah.
But definitely the most exciting thing about this is the new battle mode.
Yeah, that's basically it, really. That's all. I mean, if it sells you, great, or even the new characters. But if not, then well, oh well.
I just looked at it right now. They're asking for $60 for this game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little pricey for just battle mode, essentially. But I'm still gonna pick it up, to be honest, because what the Nintendo console without a Mario Kart game to play? And I know you have your own reasons as well.
Yeah, I don't own Mario Kart. I just borrow my dad's copy, so I can just buy my own and just get deluxe. It'll be all fine and dandy.
Yep. All right, that's looking good. And then we come to the big one. So they had this little skit with Reggie Fils-Aimé, Miyamoto, and Eiji Aonuma. So Reggie's like talking about Switch, and he's like, "But man, what games?"
I know.
Like, take it out of context, that sounds so bad. What games? But then they're like, Mr. Kimishima, when does Zelda come out? Oh, when does it come out? And by the way, Kimishima is actually leading this presentation, which I find to be pretty cool. You know, he was the president ever since Iwata passed away, unfortunately. And it's cool to see him finally come out of the shadows. Of course, we never got to hear him speak since it was all English voiceovers, but it's still nice. Okay, but anyways, the big one. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I'll say this right now, it is a launch game. It's the launch game for the Switch. It's the game that's going to carry the Switch, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, for a while, people were like, this is not going to be a launch title. And that had a lot of people worried because how are you going to sell a Switch
without Zelda?
Without, like, a really strong lineup? Because taking out Breath of the Wild, the launch lineup is not as great. I think it's better than the Wii U's, but not by much.
If they took away Zelda, honestly, the launch lineup would be piss poor. Now, but the theory that people had was if Zelda was going to get delayed, then Mario would have been moved up to launch.
Maybe.
So at least it would have been a compromise. But first of all, that doesn't even make sense to me from the beginning because Zelda was literally the only thing Nintendo was advertising for the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they build up all that hype just to say, "Oh, it's not coming at launch"? That would just be such a downer.
Oh yeah.
So
no, turns out it's coming out for launch,
which is good. And it's coming out on the Wii U on the same day, so Wii U owners, at least you got your game. At the same time, the Switch owners are getting it. Fortunately, it's not a Twilight Princess situation where the GameCube version got delayed for a whole month, I believe.
Oh yeah.
So that's good. But can we talk about that trailer? That trailer is everything.
That trailer is like, it made people scream at the top of their lungs while watching it on their couch, and
it made my dick rock harder than if I was playing Mega Man X. That's how hype it was.
He was like,
Oh! But man, probably the best thing to take away from this trailer is there's gonna be story in this game, and it's gonna be pretty dope from what it looks like. Because people were worried going in that Zelda is already going to be like this amazing open world game, but they were worried that the story would suffer for it. But this trailer came, and they're like, nope, the story's going to be pretty much what you expect from a Zelda game, if not better. It's like, oh, yes. And the soundtrack gives me chills every time I listen to it.
yeah, it's pretty dope.
Oh man, they have like all these music motives from like across the Zelda series, and at the very end they played the original Zelda theme song. It's like, oh yes.
Also, we can't forget, there's voice acting.
There's voice acting.
Like, that's something that's basically unheard of in a Zelda game.
Right. This will be the first Zelda game with voice acting. Unless you count Tetra's Trackers, I believe it's called. A little mini game for the GameCube, but it was only released in Japan, so this will be the first like legit Zelda game with voice acting, however.
Yeah. Legit.
I remember now, it's Tetris Treasure Trackers.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some serious voice acting. It's
And honestly, I mean, so people are always gonna be super critical on English dubbing, but I think it sounds fine.
I
It
still
definitely
haven't
gets
watched
the
it, to be
point across.
honest.
Oh, really?
No, I only watched the Japanese.
The Japanese one is pretty decent too.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, okay, before I say what I'm about to say, I just want to say they revealed Zelda in this trailer. Waifu confirmed.
Yep. Like, super waifu
Like,
confirmed.
her design is awesome. And you can really tell from this trailer that she isn't just going to be a damsel of distress in this game. She's really going to be trying to do what she needs to do to save the land, essentially. And there's actually moments, if you look closely, where she's actually protecting Link from a guardian in the trailer. So yeah, she's definitely doing stuff. But the scene I was going to talk about is, you have some really emotional scenes in there. Like, there's a point where Zelda just breaks down and starts crying in Link's arms. It's like, oh man, that's intense.
Not only that, but even Link was showing some emotion too. It was like, what?
Yeah.
No flat face.
Yeah, apparently Link is going to be his own character in this game. He might not talk, but you can't rename him or anything. He's going to be called Link, and that's what you get. So I do like that Link is going to be treated as his own character for once, instead of just an extension of yourself. Like, that was the whole point of his name being Link and all, but I like to play as established characters myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I do appreciate that.
But yeah, this trailer also revealed a lot of details. Like, for example, they showed Gorons, they showed Zora, they showed bird people, they showed Gerudos, they showed the tree.
The Deku tree. And
apparently the tree's back.
It's actually, yeah, he's back. And it actually ties into the big mystery of this game is what happened 100 years ago from when Link wakes up at the beginning of the game. Because he's talking about, apparently you don't recognize me from the tone of your face or wherever. And but yeah, like, apparently they met before. It's like, who is this Link? Like, that's such a great mystery. Like, who is Link? Who is this guy that you're playing as? Like, what did he do 100 years ago? And then when the guy says, I think you're now ready to hear what happened 100 years ago. Yes, please tell me. Tell me right now. I want to know.
Like, no. You get a title sequence instead.
Yeah, there are like so many theories on what Link could be. Could he be Ocarina of Time Link? Could he be like another Link from across the Zelda series? And there's also the mystery of where does this game take place in the overall timeline? And AJ Onuma made a lot of comments on the game recently. One of the things he said is, you're going to figure out where the game falls in the timeline as you play it. So that's going to be really exciting.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm glad he's not saying it outright. He's like saying, basically, figure it out for yourself.
Or just wait for the story to update.
Right. They are releasing a Zelda art book in February that has artwork from Breath of the Wild. But I don't think it's going to reveal anything more than that. So I would like a Hyrule Historia Part 2, though.
Yeah, so not only that, but you also see the Master Sword, which looks really, really. It doesn't look good.
Yeah, it's pretty busted.
Yeah, it's pretty bit up. It's whoa, it's been through places.
It's actually interesting because in some scenes it looks broken, and in other scenes it looks like brand new.
Yeah,
And that ties into like one of the theories. I think it's been confirmed as well in a way, but I don't think Nintendo was trying to tell us that. Someone found out that if you go through one of the menus, there's a whole section of the menu where you have these memories. And basically you obtain these memories throughout the game, and you can go to the menu in order to watch them again. So essentially cutscenes. So I guess like as you progress through the game, Link starts to regain his memories, and it will be unlocked as cutscenes in that menu.
Okay.
So I assume that's where you're gonna get most of your story from. Perhaps.
Probably.
It's still really interesting though. Yeah, we have all these races confirmed. I'm glad to see Gorons again and Zoras, and for some reason Zoras are red. That's different, but I do like it.
I do.
The little Zora girl is adorable.
Yeah.
Really adorable.
And then things that weren't talked about in the presentation itself, but they're like, oh, there's the special edition, and then there's the master edition, which are gone.
They're gone.
They're so gone. But they were like, whoa, these are beefy.
Yeah, so the Master Edition, it came with a little statue of the Master Sword, Resurrection that they're calling it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically the busted Master Sword. And if you don't get the Master Edition, you just go for the Special Edition. I actually have the image right here, conveniently enough. Okay, so if you just get the Special Edition, you're going to get a carrying case that's based on the Sheikah Slate. It's pretty dope. And I will say, the Switch is supposed to be kind of a portable system, but there's no way you're going to be able to fit in your pocket. So this special edition would have been nice to get because it does come with a case, and you're definitely going to want a case for your Switch if you're planning to take it on the go with you.
Like, this is not something you want to throw around.
No, you don't want. You also don't want to be trying to fit this in your pocket against your keys or wherever have you, like scratching up your screen. That's a no-no.
Mm-hmm.
But you also get this nice map here of the whole Hyrule, and there's actually some Sheikah letters on it, and some fans have actually translated it, and it talks about how apparently the hero and the princess have failed to stop Ganon. So that might be kind of a spoiler on the game, but to be honest, it was kind of obvious anyway what was happening. And then we also have a soundtrack CD that comes with 24 songs, and as we've been talking about, the soundtrack so far is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So
they've outdone themselves again.
Oh yeah. And then you also get a Sheikah Eye collectible coin. That's cool, I guess. You also obviously you also get the game.
Yeah, little
So
nifties.
that's all you get. That's all you get in the special edition. And the master edition just adds the master sword to that.
And also, if you were very hyped about the amiibos, the 3 that were shown were the 2 links and the, let's call it
And
the
the
thing.
Guardian.
Yeah. Well, they're like, oh, well, here's 2 more. Here's a Zelda,
Here's Zelda
and a
and a Bokoblin. A Bokoblin for no reason.
I'm like, oh, and they're actually a bit more expensive. Actually, I think they're like,
yeah, they're like $16 a piece now.
yeah,
That's weird. Zelda's pretty dope. Bokoblin is kind of a random choice, but maybe it's because the Bokoblin is such a common enemy in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why.
Maybe.
It is kind of random. I haven't even pre-ordered any of the amiibos yet. No, they're already sold out.
I haven't, actually. I'm probably just gonna, because generally the amiibo market in this day and age is really not that intense. You can probably just, I mean, as long as you go on like the same day or maybe even a day after, you'll be fine.
Yeah, usually they'll restock them on the day of. So, like, I'm not that worried about it, but it's kind of a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pre-order it now if I really wanted to. But, and then, that's pretty much it. Just, this game's amazing! Oh, man. I can't wait to play this game.
Well, that's in a little over a month. We're almost there.
Almost there, dude. We've been waiting. I've been waiting for this game ever since the Wii U was a thing.
Yeah.
I think it was announced in like January 2012. They're like, by the way, we're working on a Zelda game for the Wii U. Okay. I'll wait. I'm still waiting, Nintendo. One day. That's kind of how I felt about the Wii U all this time. I just kept telling myself, the next year will get better. Okay, the next year will get better. The next year will get better. Zelda's coming out, right? No. Oh. Oh man, it's been quite the wait, but from what we've seen, it looks like it's gonna be worth it. Unlike another game we know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hopefully this will top our favorite Zeldas, you know. I mean, it seems like it's going that way.
Just might be.
Yeah. Just might. It's really exciting. But yeah, so we're going to start wrapping up things here. Just to end things off, what we're going to get at launch is Zelda Breath of the Wild, Just Dance 2017, 1-2 Switch, Skylanders Imaginators, Super Bomberman R, and then after the presentation, there's been a bunch of announcements that's been happening. There was one yesterday, and there was one just tonight in the middle of recording this. So last night, it was confirmed that I Am Setsuna, the Chrono Trigger special successor, is actually coming to the Switch at launch. And then we also have the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. And then just tonight, these 3 indie games, Little Inferno, World of Goo, and Human Resource Machine has been announced for launch. So the list gets bigger. We start out with 5, now we have 10.
So that's nice. It's looking better than before, that's for sure.
Yeah. One can argue that the Wii U had more games. It had like 23, I believe. But I'm really more concerned of quality over quantity here. And we do have some quality in The Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
And Super Bomberman R looks fun enough. I'm also interested in I Am Setsuna. So, 3 games that are probably going to be pretty decent or freaking amazing is better than like freaking another new Super Mario Bros. Game.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'll ask, what are you going to pick up at launch, or what are you interested in out of this launch lineup so far?
Honestly, I'm probably just gonna get Breath of the Wild for now.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild is going to be my priority.
Like, I might pick up Bomberman R afterwards, maybe if I hear some more things
Yeah.
about it, or I Am Setsuna.
Mm-hmm.
But Breath of the Wild, that's definitely the one I'm gonna be like, oh, I want this game, and I'm gonna sit here and do things now. Forever.
Yeah, so and then we got some other games coming in March, and Mario Kart's coming April 28th.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Zelda's going to be a huge game. Like, it better be for how long it's been in development.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty sure Zelda's going to keep us quite busy until Mario Kart 8 comes out. And then from there, the snowball's going to be rolling pretty hardcore as we get into the fall and the holiday season, because there's a lot of good games coming out then too.
Yeah.
So, like, people hate on the Switch right now because of the launch lineup, but to quote Reggie, launches are going to be the end all be all. I'm looking at the big picture here. Like, you only have Zelda at launch, and technically it is a Wii U game. But as we go through this year, there's going to be a lot of good stuff coming out, especially by the holidays when we got Mario and whatever else they might announce at E3.
I will say this, like, the year, the Switch year definitely looks way better than, say, the Wii U at its first year.
It blows the Wii U's first year out of the water.
Like, it was wow.
Because the Wii U, you had like Mario, and just a 2D Mario, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
You had Zombie U, and then Pikmin 3, and Lego City Undercover. That was your first year of the Wii U's life. It's like, oh, you also had Mario Kart. No, not even actually. Mario Kart was still quite a ways away.
Yeah.
So like, that's the thing. That's the thing about the Switch. In the first year, we're getting our Zelda, we're getting our Mario Kart, Splatoon, Fire Emblem Warriors, Xenoblade, and Mario, an actual 3D Mario game that we've all been asking for. That is a really good year for a Nintendo fan.
Yep.
Now, if you're not a Nintendo fan, maybe, well, I mean, this might not be the system for you anyways, because if you're just into the third-party stuff, you're honestly better off getting a PS4 or an Xbox.
Yeah, but in terms of like Nintendo games, no, they're doing better. That's for sure.
They're doing pretty good, and there might be more announcements at E3. You know, I think E3 is going to make it or break it for Nintendo Switch.
Probably, yeah.
Like, if they go in there and they're like, here's Mario, and that's it, well, people are going to lose faith in them. But if they come out of guns blazing with all these great announcements, then yeah, people are going to be hyped. And they haven't even talked about Virtual Console yet. Where's Mother 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Mother 3 and GameCube Virtual Console has been rumored for a while now, but they haven't said anything about it. It's just kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, yeah. To end things off, I just want to ask, what do you think? How do you think the Nintendo Switch will do in the marketplace?
Yeah, like, is it gonna succeed? Is it gonna fail?
Yeah, like, is it going to succeed? Is it going to fail? Like, how do you think people are going to react to this? Or maybe you may have seen some reactions already.
Let's place bets.
I guess we got to.
Well, they for sure are, because this is like, it's either get good or go home.
Right? Okay, I'll start. I think the Switch is going to do maybe either poured decently in the first few months, but after E3 and going into the holiday season, it's going to start to steamroll,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to start to do a lot better.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because no matter how good a system is and how great the concept of the Switch is, well, you can't how are you going to use all those great features unless you have games to play them with?
Exactly. And Zelda might be glorious, but that alone won't be able to like fully sell a system for some people.
Especially for people that already have a Wii U, I can definitely see people going, well, it's coming out for the Wii U, so I'm just going to get the game for that, and I'm going to wait a bit on the Switch. But, devil's advocate here, the Wii U demographic is so small, like, that system sold abysmally. So, having Zelda there at launch is really important for the people who may not be as as big of a Nintendo fan as us, or just never picked up the Wii U for whatever reason, and now they're gonna want to switch to play Zelda. So we'll definitely see how things pan out, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to say, I'm really excited for the Switch as a Nintendo fan. Zelda is my most anticipated game this year. Basically, yeah. And I can't wait to play it. And my best advice to you is if you're on the fence for a Switch, just wait until the holidays when Mario comes out. Like, there's gonna be a lot more games then. They're gonna have all their online stuff figured out, and there'll probably be some bundles by then as well. So I definitely say wait until then if you're on the fence.
Mm-hmm.
But for myself, it's my birthday coming up, so this is gonna be like my birthday gift to myself, and plus, I've already justified the Switch for myself because I want to play Zelda in like the most definitive version. We didn't even talk about the differences, but basically Zelda for Switch is going to have bit better resolution, and I've seen some comparison shots. It looks like it's going to have sharper graphics compared to the Wii U version.
Yeah, and the draw distance is
a lot better too.
A lot better in the Switch.
It's going to support HD Rumble, and according to Nintendo, the Switch version is also going to have more high quality sounds. So the sound of the water, the grass, walking sound effects, like all of those environmental sounds are going to sound more realistic on the Switch version.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I definitely want to play Zelda on the Switch. There's also the thing about the Wii U version that you need to have 3 gigabytes worth of space free on your Wii U to play the game.
Yeah.
That just goes to show how intensive this game is on the old system.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, do you have any final thoughts?
I hope for successes. I hope it's not a piece of poop.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, where's my corn amiibo?
Where's my Cloud amiibo? And where's Bayonetta while we're at it?
No, more. I mean, we're gonna go a little off topic here, but more importantly, where's my corn amiibo? You had a direct, but not.
You announced 2 new Fire Emblem amiibo, but you didn't talk about Corrin.
Where is it?
I have to assume at this point that they're probably working on a Super Smash Brothers port, and those 3 amiibo are going to be re-announced with it.
And before it's a 3-pack.
It probably is. It's like, here's all of these amiibo that you've been asking for, and a pack.
Exclusive to Toys R Us. I'd hate myself if that came true.
I mean, yeah, Toys R Us is the worst place to get amiibo from.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, they jack up the price to like $13. Or, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Like $14 maybe. Oh, man.
Because they can.
Because they know it sells.
Alright, we're gonna keep talking if we keep going at this.
Yep. Otherwise, Zelda's hype. Switch is pretty hype. There's some potential issues there when you look between the cracks, but overall, pretty excited. So let's just wait until March and see what happens. So we're gonna sign off on this podcast. Thank you for watching Rise of the ShadowCast. And like I said before, this is a monthly thing now. So we'll see you in February. I've been ShadowRock.
I've been TGP.
And until next time, rock on.
Peace out.